What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode number 2 of 2023. I'm Emerson Hip, he's Gage Samoji, and in the Peanut Gallery for the second time. Well, actually, I wouldn't call it Peanut Gallery last week, but in the Peanut Gallery, Danny Dart, still Zampo.
It's time!
He was a guest last
He
week.
was a full-on guest.
Full-on guest. If you're on camera, you're a guest.
Pretty much, yeah. Yes, I agree with that. But
I'll-
today, in the Peanut Gallery.
I also had to tell him, remind him that he needed to put your name on the episode name, because he didn't do that. He originally didn't.
Really, but yeah, I mean, you're right. You did have to tell me, but
Because you're usually pretty good about that.
yeah, I need to do some detail updates on the last 2 episodes, so that's partially me being lazy.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. But,
Gentlemen,
cheers.
Cheers. What are we drinking here?
This is called a town car. This is a little cross between a sidecar and a Manhattan.
maybe you can drive my car.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Copyright, be careful.
Yeah.
I know it sounds just like
You're right. Yeah, you almost nailed it.
I am becoming a whiskey man.
I love that.
I am
about you.
becoming a whiskey man. I really am. Like, if I go to a bar now, I'm probably going to order old fashioned.
Nice.
Welcome to adulthood.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I was a vodka soda guy for a while. Which I think
Boring.
vodka sodas are...
Just boring,
bo-
though.
Yeah.
Gets the job done.
It definitely gets the job
If
done.
you're trying to be skinny, I get it.
Isn't that what it's called, a skinny bitch?
Yes.
No, I think that
I think you're
is the
probably
name.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, to me, liquor doesn't really make you fat, does it?
There's definitely sugar in this cocktail.
There's more calories in whiskey.
Yeah, whatever. Not really worried about that.
Yeah. But if you're drinking straight whiskey, you're pretty much fine.
Yeah. Thank you once again, Danny. 2 weeks in a row for being on. We appreciate
Yes, we always love a third voice here and there.
it. We know you are on a mini vacation due to the weather, so
Yeah.
we appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
I want a horn, like meep meep.
That would be dangerous for Danny.
It would be dangerous the longer you drink in the episode. You can start abusing it.
Today we are watching the San Jose Sharks play the Arizona Coyotes.
Who might have, the Coyotes, they might have the best uniform in the NHL.
You know what? I love that they brought back the old school logo, the original Coyotes logo.
Best logo for sure. Best mascot.
Yeah, I also think it's hilarious that they are playing at the University of Arizona, or Arizona State University's hockey arena.
Why are they doing that? Do they do that all the time?
This is temporary while they get a stadium built. But it's kind of awesome because it's only like a 5,000 seat stadium.
Well, because when you see it, you can see the Arizona State
Yeah, they got
logo
the Sunday,
and the
Sunday
Coyotes
logo
logo.
there. Yeah,
It's called Mullet Arena.
that's pretty awesome. Also, did not know that.
This is in the front, party in the back.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what Danny's got going on right
A
now.
mullet with 2 T's though, so it's probably somebody's name, but we'll forget that.
Yeah. It's a hairdo.
Mullet.
Yeah.
It's a hairdo.
Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, the retro unis that they got, well, they're not even retro anymore because they're the ones now.
Yeah.
Definite positive by the Coyotes.
Danny, you went to a Sharks game recently.
You
I
did?
did.
Yeah.
Sat right on the ice. It was rad.
Yeah, if you follow Danny on Instagram, you saw how close he was, and I was jealous. It was
Yeah.
a
I could
great
smell
scene.
their sweat.
That's hot.
Carlson was from like me to you. Not far.
Last night you were wearing a starter jacket that was nice. It was very nice. I would wear it. I think you would wear it.
Oh yeah. Now you got the reverse retro hat on right now.
Oh yeah.
I think it's
Classic.
I think it's sweet.
Yep.
Kind of, dad hat vibes.
Yep. Little tribute to the San Francisco / Oakland Seals.
Mm-hmm.
They played in both cities, right?
Oh.
I think they did.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
But with my dad, and the last time he'd been to a hockey game was in Oakland, so it must have been a Seals game. So, been a long time.
It must have been nice for you two to be able to get some bonding time because it was a birthday or a Christmas present from your mom.
Yeah.
Being able to go to the game.
Yeah.
And when was the last time you've been to a Sharks game?
Probably last time we went. I don't know if you were there, but
When did we go? Like 2 years ago? Or did we miss?
probably longer than that
Maybe before COVID?
for sure. Before
Oh,
COVID.
okay. All right.
Well, because I remember we went.
Because I've been to like 2 games since the last time we went together.
Yeah.
You guys went to that playoff game.
Yeah.
That was years ago, but that was awesome.
I think it was that same year. Maybe the
You think
next
it's been that long?
I think
Might
it's
have been the year
I feel like
after.
we mixed in another one since then.
I don't think so.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Because I know we've been to the one we went to last year,
Mhm.
and then we went to the one with Garrett and Ashley when we stayed in the hotel
In 2020, yeah,
2020.
right before COVID.
right before COVID.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like we might have squeezed one in with
I
Danny.
feel like we did, but maybe not. Yeah.
I know we
2016.
sat in like basically the same areas. For the
I
whole
love,
game.
yeah, that's my favorite seat.
It's a nice
in the
spot.
building,
You see everything because you sat like long ways watching.
You
it.
sat on
Yeah.
the sideline.
You said
yeah.
you kind of had some issues with it.
Yeah, seeing one side of the net was a little tough, but they have screens everywhere. And
Yeah, you can kind of watch the game from there. Yeah.
And who doesn't love going to a hockey game?
Hockey games are one of the best live sports. Yeah,
so.
maybe number one. Especially playoff hockey. That was awesome atmosphere.
Well, it's cool. Like I don't think they had it when we were there, but all the chairs light up.
Yeah,
so.
that sounds new. Unless maybe you think it was every seat in the stadium,
Every seat in
or in the
stadium.
arena. Yeah,
I want to say they had that last year.
You
when
think
we
so?
went to the game.
I just maybe just wasn't paying attention.
It's like in the arms, I think, or maybe
Yep.
in the seat part.
Okay.
It's like headlights almost.
Yeah. Gage, what do we got on tap for this evening?
Well, we're going to talk about the national championship game, which was an absolute snoozer.
There was a game.
It was a nail biter.
Dude, that game was bad. We have NFL, of course. Last week of the season just happened, and we're going to get into the wild card round. The super
Wild Card round.
That's kind of a lame name.
Really stupid. Yeah.
Really dumb.
Thank you for agreeing.
Thank you for agreeing.
Yeah.
A little MLB talk because Emerson can't go a week without talking about baseball.
Yeah, we did last week.
And then, of course,
Just like you can't go a week without talking about LeBron. But you
not,
did.
I'm not going to mention this week either.
Proud of you.
But
Proud of you.
wait until he breaks the point record, and then
All right.
we'll be talking. And then, of course, last call, as always.
Of course. We did decide before the show that we were gonna pick each other's shot to start this day, right?
Yeah, from the shooters that you got.
Who picks who though, or is it mutual?
How about I'll pick one first, and I'll choose out of you two. I guess I could choose myself too.
Or is it gonna be a blind draw?
Blind draw.
But they're all kind of organized. I've already seen where they're at.
Shake them up.
I know what they all feel like too.
Okay, well I'll just
Just pick, just be a dick.
yeah.
We'll all be
Now
dicks
you're
today.
looking right at them.
We'll look
Oh,
at-
you're picking them.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll look at them. Okay. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pick Danny's. Have to. Have to. I mean, we're drinking whiskey. I really want.
He complained about the Bailey, so you should give him
God,
the
I
Bailey.
knew you were.
I'm not gonna do you that dirty,
Not
Danny.
that I can complain about
I'm
it.
not gonna
Just
do
not.
that dirty. I'm gonna give you the pink lemonade Smirnoff.
Nice.
See that? I'll
dude.
take.
Wait till you try it.
It's not good.
Okay, you pick for either yourself or for me.
I gotta pick for you.
Really,
Actually, no, you pick for me, and then Danny will pick for you.
really matches my personality. I'm definitely a pink lemonade kind of guy.
Yeah, I want to save this Montenegro.
That bottle looks intimidating.
It's like a sweeter Fernet, like a easier to drink than Fernet.
Okay.
Did you do one of these already?
Crown vanilla? I don't know.
Yeah.
You see it. You see it. Crown vanilla. Excellent. 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 Can we do trades?
Yeah, right.
You probably got at least, what, 30 more, 40 more in
There's a
there?
good one. Yeah, there's definitely a good one.
Should I mix it with my cocktail?
You could have. Probably wouldn't taste that bad.
I'll keep you in that ballpark too.
Oh,
Still spicy.
Tamarindo?
Those aren't that bad.
These Gage liked it. I felt like
It
might be
tastes
kinda
like those
foul, but-
Mexican candies, like the mango that's covered in the tahini a little bit.
Yeah.
I was gonna go with a captain, but it felt it was kind of too boring.
Yeah. We all got some flavor going on here.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers, fellas. Another episode.
Actually, it
Maybe,
doesn't smell bad at all.
maybe Danny, if you're
Well, perfumey.
if you're out again by this time next week, maybe I'll go for
Three-peat?
Three-peat.
Yeah.
Three-peat. Cheers.
Like my bowling game today.
You're right, Gage. That isn't terrible, but the spiciness is weird.
That's not terrible either.
Man, I thought that one was like straight cough medicine.
This
It just
reminds
tastes like lemonade, like a sugary lemonade.
Yeah.
this reminds me
This is burning a little bit.
of my adolescence. Also, kind of reminds me of going to Santa Barbara for some reason. Don't ask me why.
All right, I won't. Let's
See
move
you.
on. No, don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it. You
Leave
wanna
your
talk about
comments.
childhood?
Ask Gage about it. in
You
the comments
guys,
below.
you guys, before we move on, had a little fun today. You had a little bro date thing going.
Yeah, we did.
It was so
It
cute.
was very cute.
What'd you guys do?
Went to Kitchen Door for a little lunch.
Wow, look at
Yeah.
you guys. Did you get the duck sandwich?
I did not.
Why not?
We did.
We split some wings.
Yeah.
I
We
got
got
the
both flavors
mussels.
of wings. Yeah, Danny got
What are the
mussels.
two flavors that they have?
They got buffalo, and then they have their signature rotisserie wings that they do a little Asian sauce in.
Which ones were better?
I like them both.
I think the rotisserie were better.
The rotisserie is a more unique style, I guess. I thought the buffalo were so solid.
They were good. Yeah.
And you guys just got apps?
And then
I got the mussel.
you got mussels for entree, and I did margarita pizza.
Mussels for lunch. That's a I respect it. I love seafood.
My dad's a big mussels guy too. I have never tried them honestly.
You never had mussels?
No.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah.
They're really good.
I've had better. I mean, they were still good, but
Wasn't.
the broth was good. But I don't know. Maybe it needed to be coated more in the broth. But it was kind of the mussel itself was lacking flavor. But
It was just there.
Yeah.
Margarita pizza is always a classic. I'm a fan of margarita pizza.
Yeah,
What's your review?
I thought it was okay. I think
You got to score it 1 through 10.
it was I'd say it's like a 6.5, 6.6.
You can't change your scores. It's 6-5.
6.5. Sorry,
That's the
my
rules.
bad.
We don't make the rules, by the
yeah.
way.
Everyone knows the rules.
I felt like the sauce, because in a margarita pizza, the sauce is very important, and the flavor was just very tomatoey, not a lot of herb or seasoning in the sauce. So
I'm a
little disappointing on that.
I'm a very sauce heavy pizza guy.
I'm with you.
I love
Yeah.
tomato sauce.
I think
like marinara sauce.
yeah, I probably should have asked for like some Parmesan and some pepper flakes to spice it up a little bit and add some salt, but
The other day I got a Fozzie's personal sized pizza, a little mini.
yeah, I used to get those all the
That's
time.
a good deal.
Yeah.
Fazerati's is
Because it's like
so
it was the
good.
perfect amount.
Right,
It's football pizza.
it is. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
better. We've talked about this before. It's better than Papa Joe's, in my opinion.
I
Oh,
think-
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
I agree.
like, if we're talking 10 years ago, Papa Joe's
was
Papa
on
Joe's
was on
fell
point.
off.
was
It
tough.
did. It totally
Papa
did.
Joe's fell off big
Figure
time.
your shit out, dude.
And I hate saying that because I grew up eating Papa Joe's.
Oh, that's
and
true.
I think a lot of us, or maybe
Yeah.
you might not.
Yeah.
You probably did.
I didn't really grow up on it, but I definitely had it so many times.
That was the only spot we would order
Yeah.
from.
I think the pizza's just like too soggy. I like how we're shitting on a local restaurant.
Well, no, I'm not. I mean,
But we're praising another local
Oh,
restaurant.
yeah, it's,
You know, no, it's constructive criticism. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
I'll still
true.
eat Papa Joe's.
Yeah, me too.
But
If someone, yeah,
But if someone's like, "Hey, let's buy a pizza," I'm like, "Okay, it's like, where do you want to get it from?" I'm gonna say Fazerati.
Fuzz in
I will say, great underrated pizza. Not local. We had it once, but the Take and Bakes, Papa Murphy's.
dude, yeah, no,
Those
not
are
at all.
good pizzas.
My mom, not
We used to get those all the time.
not recently, but she likes Papa Murphy's Taking Bakes.
Yeah.
And they're
They're
you know,
good.
and they're cheap. They're a little more affordable, and
Right.
you put in your own oven. You know,
They're the best, like, affordable pizza.
Right.
Hands down.
one of the best pizzas I've ever had, Zach's.
Yeah, Zach's is pretty
Is that in
popular.
Concord?
And, I think there is one in Concord, but also Berkeley.
I think the one, like,
Yeah.
Concord. And I think I liked it so much because the sauce was on top, and there was just so much of it. It was like almost Chicago style.
Okay.
It was a really good pizza, and this was probably 5 years ago that I
Yeah.
had it. And I love sauce.
I do like a well sauced pizza, but it has to have some good flavor. Like it can't just be
Well,
boring.
of course.
Yeah.
It can't be
Tomato,
tomato
crushed tomatoes.
crushed tomatoes and crust.
Great deal, though. I actually did this for Tahoe. You can buy the dough at Fozzie's.
Oh
So I
yeah,
bought the
you were
dough
telling us
and
about
I
that.
Brought it up there. and made it.
You told me that, and how much was the dough?
$4 for a large pizza dough,
That's insane. That's incredible.
and it's good, and you know,
Of course.
so much less hassle.
Yeah.
I will say this, just getting back, and this is my last take. I'm not going to name the spot, but Papa Joe's is not the worst local restaurant in Napa.
Like local
For pizza?
like
Yeah.
local pizza restaurant.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of.
and I won't say who it is.
We'll talk about it after the show, I guess. Trying to think who's.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. We're not gonna. We don't have to guess it.
Yeah.
But
I just wanted to put it in my mind, but I don't have it.
I kind of have it. But
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see how it is.
All right. Well, we might need to remind people what we're talking about sports-wise.
So, like I said, the national championship game, the NFL playoffs are about to start. We're
Yeah.
all excited for that because
Yes,
we
sir.
actually, I'm not excited for the playoffs. I'm not.
How about them Cowboys?
I'm not excited. I'm not excited. I'm not excited.
Until they beat Tom Brady's ass.
Yeah, dude, you want
You want to put something on
to
it?
put something on it, and then MLB, and then last call.
Yes, sir.
That's what we got going on today.
First and foremost, though, we're gonna give a little Damar Hamlin update. I know most people that listen to us, they know what's going on here, but it is nice to report that he is improving significantly. He just was transferred to a Buffalo Medical Center
Great.
yesterday.
He's posting on Instagram.
He's tweeting
He's,
away,
he's
doing all
alive.
this, yeah,
He's alive,
coherent.
and he's somewhat well.
He's human.
Dude, look at this guy.
Fucking Curtis Brown.
Is that me?
Yeah.
You wish. I wish I could get a mustache like that.
So yeah, good things are hopefully on the way for Damar. Of course, the Bills beat the Patriots on Sunday, which was an awesome day for them. Excuse me. And I didn't see this live, but watching the video of Naeem Hines take the opening kickoff for a touchdown,
Saw it live.
it was chilly.
It's storybook.
Right. It was too perfect.
I kind of hate the term. You couldn't write this in like movies. Like,
But
you couldn't write this.
can.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And then he did it again later in the game.
And
which
it
is
was
hilarious.
literally
You ran two back?
Yeah.
yeah, it was literally the first
I think the
kickoff
first
of the
one.
game.
Yeah.
The opening kickoff he took to the house.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
Why do I feel like if there happened to be like a hold in that play that the referees were like,
Yeah,
we're
we're just letting it play on.
Can you imagine if there was
Ooh.
if they called a flag on that? The whole place would have booed
Yeah.
the fuck out of those refs.
Oh, yeah.
I know they got a job to do,
Right.
and I'm not saying they let anything go,
Yeah.
but the fact that he ran one back to me, it's magical.
Angels on the gridiron.
Seriously, it's something like that. It's every cheesy thing you can think of is
Angels on the
what
gridiron.
this was.
I like that.
And it's great. I love it.
I want to say something too. What's crazy about this is that kickoff return touchdowns are not much of a thing in the NFL anymore with the rule changes and all that.
Well,
you get a lot of touchbacks.
Well, they make that the reason. Like they want
It's for safety.
Incentivized.
Yeah, there's safety involved in it, and I totally understand it. But even nonetheless, that still makes it more impressive. I think with Nyheim Hines being a running back, I think teams need to consider running backs as returners more. Now that it's a little more difficult to break a hole, because he broke tackles on both of his returns for touchdowns.
And when he was breaking away, it looked like he was going to get caught.
Right.
And
yeah.
he just kept
Yeah.
going.
And the second one, he broke, I think, 2 tackles, which, like, a running back's more adept to, the physical play of football than just a return man.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool. What do you guys think about the way they sorted out the AFC playoff structure with everything that happened?
So this only happens if the Chiefs and the Bills play each other in the championship game.
Now, yes, because there was a thing that could happen with the Bengals in the playoff or in the AFC Championship game, but it would have taken a Chiefs loss to the Raiders this past weekend for that to come to fruition.
I think it's fair.
I don't hate it, but I think they tried too hard to make it fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think, to me, an unprecedented thing happened, and both these teams, the Bills and Bengals, said we don't want to make this game up, is what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. So, even though there's life is bigger than the game, of course,
Yes.
but I think they should have been able to accept that we're going to take one for the team because this gentleman just almost lost his life on the field, and we have to acknowledge that. So I thought they tried a little too hard to make it fair. I don't hate what they did, but to me it wasn't necessary.
I think it's fair for the Bills
They made it more fair for the Bills than anyone else. I would say.
because Damar Hamlin clearly went down.
Right.
And if, let's say the Bills won that game and then they end up winning this next week,
They would have got the bye. Yeah.
And I bet you they'll play it in Detroit or something like that. I bet you they'll play in a dome.
I would hope they play it at an outdoor venue.
They probably won't.
They probably won't, but I would love to see that because I think that's both the Bills and Chiefs. First, we got to get there, of course, for this to be
It's not
be a
guaranteed.
factor.
It's not guaranteed.
For this to be a factor, but both those teams play in cold weather, environments. So I think it would be cool to. Green Bay, if you knew it wasn't going to snow, would be awesome.
That'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
Would you agree with me that a neutral site, a possible AFC championship between the Bills and the Chiefs, doesn't have the juice when it's at a neutral site?
It's not as
Than
cool.
it would be if it was at Buffalo or Kansas City.
It's not going to feel as good as it could if we get there.
And I wonder how much the Bills, or the team or organization, feels about this. Like, do they feel way better about this?
I think obviously if you take everything away, they would have loved to just played out the game against the Bengals. That's too easy to say though. Sure, I guess they probably feel like maybe they deserve this, but the Bengals were completely against all of this because they could have almost lost home field advantage in the first round.
Yeah, on a coin flip.
On a coin flip, they could have had they not beaten the Ravens this past weekend. Not that they were guaranteed to win that game against the Bills, but they were leading the game when they shut it down.
7-3.
Yeah, and driving. So that's partially why I feel like they tried too hard to make it fair. But I don't hate it. Like I said,
I don't hate it. I'm okay
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
I get it. The NFL, this doesn't happen. The situation doesn't really happen ever.
This is the first time that not every team has played the same amount of games since 1935. So they've never had to deal with this kind of situation where winning percentage is the factor rather than just wins.
So you can't really blame the NFL for making this what it is because this kind of thing doesn't happen. Like, they did the best they could,
Right.
and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Well, the reason the Bengals were not in favor of this whole thing is because the rulebook says that win percentage is what is supposed to determine standings. However, there is a little caveat that says the commissioner can overrule that, which he did.
Yeah.
But it, like we started with at the top, this was unprecedented scenario. So
It's always good knowing that things are in Goodell's hands, right?
everyone's favorite, everybody's favorite. But yes, back to the main point. Damar Hamlin is doing better than expected, which is great, and we hope that things continue in that same direction.
He's gonna be on the Bills for a couple more years. I think they extended him.
They did? Yeah, I know that they guaranteed his salary.
Or maybe that's
I know they guaranteed his salary, which is obviously the right thing to do.
Of course.
I kind of wondered, do you feel like he will ever step on the field again? It's too early to say, but if he could get to that condition, what would you do? Actually, is a better question. If you'd had this happen to you and you got back to the condition where you could play again.
It's really hard to say for me because I never even I played football for like half a year.
Right.
I didn't even really like it. You know, I do think money talks. I understand that life is more important than money, but without money you can't really do anything. You know what I mean?
It would definitely be hard to walk away from money.
I bet he comes back. I bet he plays.
Yeah.
Or he's on a team, whether he starts or he's on the bench and willing to play.
Right.
I think going through something like that, you'd want to come back, at least even for a play, just to
Right.
prove you did it. Kind of I know he played a lot longer, but kind of an Alex Smith thing. Like,
Sure,
you're not
yeah.
going to be the same person, maybe, but
Yeah.
just to prove that you can do it. I think it's a pride thing in it.
Yeah.
If you're healthy enough, and
Right.
you got the okay from the doctors.
Well, I think what helps Damar Hamlin is that he's young.
Yeah.
He's 24, so
Right.
he could take a year or two off, and that would be a disadvantage for him long term trying to get on a team. I still think he could taking time off. He could still make a team, being like 26 or 27. If
Right,
he decided to take a couple years off.
Right.
It's not like he's 35. Like, if he was like 35 or
later in his
like
career,
in his 30s, he'd probably be like, I'm done.
Right.
But the fact that he's in his still early 20s, still a lot more time for him to make a team or recover, make a team, and try to make a name for himself once again.
Right. I think also considering the odds of what happened being astronomically low, I'd almost be like, you know what? I had one of my lives already. Let's keep going. Especially if he feels like he's in love with the game of football. Like if he didn't really, have that. If he was doing it more for the career than actually love of football, I can understand walking away.
And he's made a lot of money in like our eyes. He's made a lot of money. But I think in football terms, he hasn't really made
nothing.
He hasn't really made that generational wealth that everybody hopes for.
Yeah, exactly.
And I hate to make money the main point of this, but I do think I think it factors a ton.
Absolutely.
I think it does a lot. I hope he comes back and I hope he can play.
Me too. I will root for him forever.
Only if he wants to.
Right.
I hope he doesn't feel forced by anybody. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he has a good support system around him.
Right.
Sounds like him and his mom are pretty tight. She's at every game that he plays at. So he'll ultimately make the right choice for himself, and I'm not too worried about it. I'm just glad that he's doing okay and he's conscious and able to be a human.
Right.
Still.
And he's off the tube, which is the biggest thing.
Exactly.
Like if you can't breathe on your own, that's a scary thing.
That's no life to live.
Right. All right. Let's move on from somber news and move on to.
It's not somber news. It's good news.
Well, it is good news.
Are you sure this isn't still somber news?
This is just disappointing news.
This is domination.
The national championship game was one of the worst games I've ever been excited for.
That's a great way.
Is that not it?
I think before the game yesterday, I said this game to me could be like the Alabama Notre Dame game.
And it was more than that.
That had AJ McCarron, his girlfriend in the stands that everybody drooled about.
And then Manti
Teo
and his fake girlfriend.
And his fake girlfriend who was in the stands too.
Nice.
And
You thought about that.
I actually just thought
She was on the field.
Yeah, she was cheering for him right there.
Oh, Monty Teo!
I said that. Remember? I said that to you last night. I think this could be bad.
You did, yeah.
And I don't know. The first play for TCU was a false start, and that should have been
bad.
That should have been
Bad
the
sign.
The sign?
with the sign that this was not going to be a good game,
Yeah.
and it wasn't. Georgia beat TCU 65-7, as most people probably know. But I'll say that one more time: 65-7 in a national championship game.
Not only did they put up 65 points, they almost won by 60 as well. That's fucking stupid.
The closest this game was 10-7.
Yeah.
And then they went and
scored.
scored 55 straight points after being up 10-7.
Ridiculous.
I think we were both afraid, and I think we talked about. I mean, Danny probably thought the same thing. I think we were afraid that Georgia was going to win this in the route.
Right.
I did not expect this.
I didn't expect 65.
I did not expect a 50. What's that? 53 points.
58.
58 points.
If you told me Georgia was going to win by 40, I would still be like, that's a really bad game.
Yeah. You're telling me the point spread could have been 59 and you still would have covered? Georgia could have been favored by 59 and you would have covered? Or no?
Why do you say that?
Well, let's say Georgia, the point spread was 58 points.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they still would have covered?
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible. This, I got a couple of notes about this. So Georgia wins back-to-back titles, of course, which hasn't happened since, I believe, 2010, 2011 now.
The Alabama teams, yeah.
This was the largest margin of victory in bowl game history.
Not just national championship.
Bowl game history
Yeah.
and national championship history.
Oh, yeah, but not just, yeah.
The bowl game one floored me when I saw this
Yeah.
because you know you watch
you
watch bowl games and you know there's teams that aren't great and anything can happen in college football.
You could easily get a 9-3 team playing a 6-6 team.
And you're telling me this right here in the national championship was the largest margin of victory in bowl game history?
It's nuts.
It's incredible. It really is.
Like, these were supposed to be the two best teams, I guess.
Do you think the CFP looks at that game last night and says we kind of blew it initially with the top four teams?
I don't think they got it wrong at all. I think this is just, Georgia flexing, honestly.
This is the best way to put it, in my opinion. TCU earned their spot to be there, but had no business being there.
As far as, them on paper, you're right, yeah.
I think...
Because, especially if you consider the fact that they were, 200-1 odds just to get to the game?
Yeah.
Right?
I just think Ohio State, TCU would have been a closer game. I think Ohio State would have still won.
Right.
But I don't think they would have won by 58 points.
That is an interesting point to say that Georgia almost wasn't even here.
Exactly. And they win this game
That
by
game was surprised. That was the most surprising
That was a
game.
little shocking.
I thought Ohio was going to get steamrolled.
That was the national championship game.
Yeah.
You could argue.
That's the game that we all wanted to see last night
Or
last week.
the Michigan TCU game.
Was a great game as well.
Exactly.
As a Michigan fan, though, do you watch this and be like, I'm glad we didn't get
Thank
embarrassed?
God it's not us.
Like
you know who's saying that is Jim Harbaugh.
right?
I bet you Jim Harbaugh was like,
Yeah.
we kind of dodged a bullet here.
Yeah. I will say I was fearful of a blowout, but definitely hopeful that we would get something far better than this.
Well, we had a whole plan, like me, you, and then Devin were here.
Mhm.
You guys, had like dinner, we had drinks, it was great.
Yeah.
Thank you for your parents for
Yeah.
hosting us.
Mom did a great job.
Absolutely.
Prepping.
And we expected a lot more. When you have people over and you want to watch a game, you don't expect anything like this. This was just, it was a bad game.
Yeah.
I can't remember I don't think I've ever seen anything like this when it comes to a championship game.
I mean, dude, it was
Yeah.
38-7 at half. I didn't think, TCU would have had to score the next 3 touchdowns just to make me think that anything would be different.
And they'd have to stop Georgia
Yeah.
on the defensive side every play.
I saw today, there's a clip and it's showing the Georgia guys eating food on the sideline during the game. They're just
they just
they're
know
like,
it's
we
in
don't
the
have to
bag.
do anything anymore.
Right.
I saw a quote on either like Bleacher Report or Sports Center, and it was the Georgia players on the sideline saying they don't have Marvin Harrison like on their team. Like it's like the gap was that much for the team when it came to this game. Because you could debate if Marvin Harrison finishes that game, Ohio State probably wins that game.
Well, maybe it's a different story. Yeah, who knows?
Exactly. So that shows respect and then disrespect to TCU because they don't have anybody like what Ohio State.
I mean, and it's also tough. Do you need a beer there, Danny?
I could take one.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked mid-thought, though. That was really good for the pod.
Yeah. It's, tough to see a Heisman runner-up play so poorly in the... and not that he played terribly, but the team just got overwhelmed by Georgia.
You're talking about Max Duggan?
Max Duggan, yeah.
He went 14 for 22, 152 yards passing, no touchdowns passing. The only touchdown they had was his rushing touchdown. 2 interceptions, and he was sacked 5 times.
Yeah.
He looked like a deer in headlights.
Right. Yeah, even the times that he didn't get sacked, he was getting flushed out of the pocket and had to, throw it away. Georgia's defense is just, they're amazing.
Suffocating.
Yeah. And athletic and all the above. And offensive player of the game, Stetson Bennett, 18 out of 25. Pretty much flawless game. 304 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks.
Doesn't Stetson Bennett, the name, sound like a rich boy
Oh, yeah.
type name?
Definitely sounds like a kid out of, like a rich Tennessee family.
And we were talking about last night, Danny, you think he's going to be a backup at the most?
Career backup.
Career
for sure.
backup.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like...
I think he'll make it to the league.
Yeah, I felt like...
Whether he's drafted or not.
Yeah. I think he could go undrafted. This helps his case, for sure, for getting drafted. But I can't see him going any higher than the 5th round.
He's been the MVP, I know it's college, but he's been the MVP of every CFP game that he's played in.
Yeah.
Or the last 4 CFP games
Yeah.
that he's played. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I don't know. I think you might be right, Danny, but...
The thing is, you put him on a team where his players around him aren't the best, at their position, like he does most of the time playing at Georgia. It's going to be a different story.
He's not better than any starter in the NFL.
No,
right now.
he doesn't.
That's including Baker Mayfield. That's including...
No, I agree.
Well, it's easy to say because
Sam
they're playing
Darnold.
against NFL.
Yeah, absolutely.
people.
Yeah.
So, like, would you say like C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young is better than any quarterback right now in the NFL?
Possibly. Yeah,
I think you really
starting
like a lot more than Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, I mean talent-wise,
More to their...
Okay.
Talent-wise, for sure.
Yeah.
Like a lot better. I don't know. It's hard to say because, like you just mentioned, none of them have played against NFL talent or current NFL talent.
It all moves a lot faster.
Right.
as they say.
But only time will tell. Yeah, I don't know if I see him ever. I mean, he had to do so much just to get his job. That's what tells me that he's probably not a NFL type player. But he could be, like you said, backup. I can totally see that.
He is the type of guy though where he's been told his whole life that he can't do it, can't do it. So I could see him possibly being...
If he wants to listen to this podcast and use my comments as fuel, more power
Please,
to you.
listen to us. Also, Napa's finest, officially, Brock Bowers.
Yes, sir.
Had 7 receptions, 152 yards.
Big
receiving,
game.
And 1 touchdown.
Big game, Brock.
This guy, he's going to go to the NFL. He's going to get drafted. It's not even a question.
It's not a question.
Future Cowboy.
To me,
Can't wait.
To me, he's a lock to be a first-round pick
A lock.
next year.
Wow.
I don't see how he wouldn't be.
Well,
Everyone talks about him as...
Well, that's rare. Isn't that pretty rare for a tight end to be a first-round pick?
I mean, Kyle Pitts was a top 5 pick. Yeah. I'm not saying he's Kyle Pitts athletically, but he's been one of the best tight ends, if not the best tight end over the last 2 years in college football as a true freshman and true sophomore.
Let's just say though, Kyle Pitts has 1 more year to prove he's not a bust at this point.
Also, yeah.
I mean, he hasn't had the quarterback.
Yeah, that's definitely a factor. Yeah, definitely a factor.
It's just cool, man. It's cool that somebody from here,
I love it. Yeah.
back-to-back national champ.
Yeah.
So
National
I was waiting
champ.
for you to bring him up to mention this. I think the first part of my question is in jail, so I'm not going to say it. But you think he has a better chance getting on this pod than somebody else mentioned before? I think you should reach out. At least do a little...
Are you thinking of Rowdy?
No, Rowdy's not in jail.
Oh, okay. I thought him.
That's a bold prediction.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
thought you put about mentioning him in jail.
No, I don't think he's on there. I don't think
No,
so.
he's not.
I can't recall that. But
I say reach out. Say, hey, we do this local podcast. You don't have to come here. Just do a...
We could do it remotely.
Yeah.
You could.
that'd be funny.
It's possible.
Just ask him 5 to 10 questions.
Right.
And
I think that is more doable because he's not a pro yet.
Today, that is more realistic. Yes.
But
get on it.
But once he goes pro, I think it's more realistic to get Rowdy that.
But at the same time, he's probably just a college kid that just doesn't want to be bothered. At the same,
Of course.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
hey, over summer, I know
Yeah.
he's in town, and I know who he
Good
trains
chance,
with.
I could try to tell Drew and JoJo to plug him in.
Yeah.
Hey,
I know
You went to
he-
school with him.
yeah, you went to high school with him. Figure it out.
Is Drew the same age as him?
Well, Drew's 21. He'll be 22.
So JoJo's probably the same age?
JoJo's probably close. JoJo's like 19, gonna be 20.
And they both went to Napa? Or did he go to...
Well, JoJo went Napa High for a little bit, and then he went...
Gotcha.
He went
You
to...
don't need to explain this story. I get it.
Yeah.
The fact you just started that way, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think if you reached out, just send him a little message.
I think it's doable. I think it's very doable. Maybe we will.
You could even send him the questions and he could just give you a written answer for them.
That's not a bad idea also.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Hey,
We can make it up, too.
I'll tell you this.
No, we're not going to make it. We're not gonna...
I'm totally kidding.
I'll tell you this, and this is a true story. My brother, for a school project, interviewed Willie McCovey.
Really?
Yeah, he was supposed
He
to...
did like an email or something, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be recorded, but he was working or out of town or something, so he sent an email.
That's awesome, yeah.
That's cool.
We knew somebody who worked for him,
Okay.
for his foundation. But anyways, it's possible.
It's very possible. So the team totals for this game was
These stats are ridiculous.
Georgia total yards 589,
That's it?
which is honestly you would think it might be more. With
They
this,
took the foot off the gas pedal, obviously.
with this point
in the fourth
total.
quarter,
With
but
this point total. TCU though is only 188.
That's it?
400-yard gap?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Total first downs Georgia 32.
Ridiculous.
TCU didn't even break 10. They had 9.
30.
9.
I don't know what's a more wild stat. 32 first downs or only giving up 9 first downs? Both are up there.
It's impressive either way.
Right.
And then
Georgia just absolutely dominated. There's no the scoreboard tells you everything.
And to put in perspective what Georgia has done the past 2 years, they have tied Clemson for the most wins over a 2-year span with 29.
And me and Dan were at lunch today, darts, and we saw that they had tied the record for 29 wins in the 2-year span. And we were like, who else had that? And it took us a while to figure out that it was Clemson.
You're telling me USC didn't have a 2-year span where they had more wins?
The thing is, teams weren't able to play 15 games in a season until recently, until the CFP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I would think USC back in the Carroll days would
They may have only had one loss in a 2-year span, like these two teams.
but they didn't play as many
They
games.
didn't play as many
Gotcha.
games. Yeah.
And also, I refer to you as Dan all the time. I don't. Maybe I
Get
don't.
back to the point.
Maybe
I know it's not your favorite name, but Dan
Yeah, I don't care.
Dan slips out.
It's not your favorite name, but it's,
I don't
it's
care.
also a part of your name.
Yeah.
Take away the N and the Y, it's your name.
Or the IEL.
Yeah, that's more realistic.
Or the
More accurate.
or the RTZ.
RRTZZ.
You'd have to add the N though.
Mm.
There's no. It's not Dermans.
Or it's not.
It might be Dermits now.
It's not duh.
Duh.
Nah.
So congrats to Georgia. Not really excited for the 12-team playoff in a couple years.
Yes, you
but-
are.
No, I'm not. I'll still watch the game.
You're just telling yourself you're not.
Why aren't you excited for it?
He doesn't like watching good teams play each other.
I don't like watching blowouts, and I think there'll be a lot more blowouts with the 12-team playoff.
I disagree.
I disagree as well.
Well, yeah, there will be because there's going to be more games played. Naturally.
Well, he's
But
pretty-
not
pretty
per,
much points. in
not
this.
per game.
Maybe in the long run, I think there will be more blowouts.
No, I disagree.
Because you can get the one team like how TCU was this year against Michigan and win unexpectedly, and then play the next team
They'll
like
have to win
Georgia.
more games.
I think it's going to create a closer scenario to what you get with March Madness,
Yeah.
where a top tier team has to win more games to get the ultimate prize, which gives more opportunity for upset and on all of the above.
Yeah.
Do you believe in miracles?
That happens like once every fucking.
Happens every March Madness, right?
Not.
Every March
It
Madness.
depends what your definition of a miracle is.
Well, the thing with
believe in miracles?
the thing with March Madness is generally like the big schools end up in the Elite Eight, but along the way, big schools will get knocked out by the little guys, which I think could be something that happens in this tournament.
It's a factor.
Like I said before, I talk shit about it, but I will watch every game.
Exactly, it's more good games.
But that's what
Who
they-
doesn't want to see number 5 play number 12 in the first round?
But that's
a
what
good
they.
game.
But that's it's all.
It's
It's
saying like
all.
it's the NFL playoffs, though. What? You don't want to see the number 2 seed play the number 8 seed, whatever it is.
Well, not in the NFL because I feel like that's more.
It's
gap.
a different. It's
But I do know.
different
But I
league.
do know what you mean. I do know what you mean.
And the fact that only 4 teams have a chance to win the national championship at the end of the year out of 130, give or take.
But it means so much more then. Like, losses mean more than anything.
They're still going to mean a lot when 12 teams make the playoffs.
But you don't think, like, in this 12-team playoff, a team that loses 3 games can still make it?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
So it's, like, you lose
that
a
will
game-
happen in the first
Okay,
year. It
so-
will happen in the first year.
Like, do you understand what I'm saying a little bit?
Yes, but it's also shitty when your team loses 1 game and that's maybe their season, and it happens in week 4.
I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. I get it.
There's I do understand the side of like,
Like, you have to win every game.
yes, I know we have this argument like every other episode.
Should we put that in jail?
Right? No talking about the college football playoff anymore.
Until the first year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until the first year, and I prove my point.
Should we? We haven't put someone in jail in a long time, should we? We all know where we stand on this, right?
Yeah, we'll put it in jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So how do you want me to word this?
We are not allowed to talk about the construct of the college football playoff
Until the first year.
until 2025. Yeah, 2024.
I'm definitely gonna take a shot for that because I'm gonna be drunk and mention it.
But 2024. Well, here's the thing though. When it changes, don't we have to mention it? Like when it officially changes.
I think then that's when we'll.
That's when it can be broken. Yeah. So when it officially changes.
Changes in what is it? 2024.
Yeah. Well, it's not. That's not official yet. But we'll just say we're not allowed to talk about it until it changes.
Okay.
So everyone listening to this episode, just take your notes.
Yes.
Gage stands this way. Emerson and Danny stand the other way.
It changes, and today is the 10th.
Changes.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's nice. I knew you guys did something.
He hit that with total confidence too.
I was like, give me something.
So you're too early
I
on
thought
it.
it was gonna be verbal. Honestly.
So for people who don't know, we have our new button since Emerson hit it early. And thanks to your mom, thank you, Morgan. She gave us this button because we talked about it last week about having a button that we can record what we want.
Yes.
And so that's what this does. You can record, you can play,
Wow.
and when you press it, you hear this. And
But you can change it whenever you want.
you can change it anytime you
Is
want.
that someone's ass or is that a mouth?
It's a mouth.
That's his count. So before this, Emerson did his own. That was easy, and then I kind of told Danny to change it, and he just did like a. So,
I couldn't think of anything. Everyone likes a good fart joke.
but it's a great gift. Thank you again, Margan. It's fantastic. We're gonna have probably change it every week. I would think.
I would, yeah, or at least every couple of episodes.
Yeah.
That was good, real good.
So that is in ISR jail, along with 6 other things
you were about to say all of them.
that I can't.
6 shots.
That I can't. Yeah. Hey, if I take 6 more shots, I'm sleeping in bed with you tonight. So I'm not gonna go walk home.
Hey, I get lonely sometimes.
Okay.
Lonely in the night.
Oh man.
I'm done with college football. How about you guys?
Well, we're gonna be done with college football until next year. So.
Yes. Mark your calendars, August 28th.
Mm.
Something like that.
You're cutting it early.
Well, you know what we're about to get into.
And I'm about to go in.
I'm gonna go home.
I'm gonna come. That could be a good.
That would be,
Please do not come.
that would be great.
I'm gonna come. And the smirk too in the video. He's like, I'm gonna come.
Minnesota.
Oh lordy.
Okay.
It's time.
For the NFL.
Yes.
And
About damn time.
so my Cowboys, they lost to the Commanders 26-6. And I think this is the worst Cowboys game I have seen in years, or at least it felt that way. Honestly, this was awful. When I watched this game up until Cooper Rush came in, because he did come in this game,
Worse than any like Quincy.
Well,
What was his
the
last
games that I can remember. Games I don't really remember watching
What's his last name?
Quincy Carter.
Quincy Carter.
I was gonna say Quincy Jones, but he's not the same. This was bad. They couldn't get anything going on offense. I feel like every throw Dak made or threw at the receivers would bounce off of them. And I got to give it to the Commanders because the defense, they played pretty well. I don't know if it was Dak playing shitty or the defense playing well. It was probably a combination of both.
Dak being Dak.
But Dak Prescott, 14 for 37. Ouch.
Oof. Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
128 yards passing and a 45 passer rate.
I was gonna say that's gotta be a really bad passer.
This is probably the worst game of his career.
How many picks? Just the one?
I think he had the pick six.
It was a pick six.
It was a pick six. Well, so he threw the first pass, and the corner should have had a pick six, and he threw it to the same receiver on the same side.
And he did
it was a pick six.
Dakota.
I mean, Dak Prescott has been playing so pedestrian in the last 3 to 4 weeks, and I think it's putting him lightly. This man leads the league in interceptions, and he missed 5 games.
Yeah, he's tied.
Davis Mills, I think.
Yeah,
and he's missed 5 games. That's an issue.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's an issue. If Dak Prescott plays like this on Monday when they play the Buccaneers, the Cowboys are going to lose, and there's going to be a lot of questions going on with the Cowboys.
I'm with you. I do believe that his play has led me to side a little more with your opinion on the Cowboys losing to the Bucs, which you predicted a couple weeks ago.
And this team, they look like a completely different team from when Dak came back from injury. Because
they got off to a good roll when he came back. They were fine.
They did.
Yeah.
They're playing bad at the absolute worst time. What is it with the Cowboys and losing games in January? I don't get it. It's seriously, like I've said before last year. It's like they're cursed. I don't get it. I don't understand how they could play so bad at the perfect time, or or the imperfect time.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, or do you think that obviously the first or the division could have been had at some point, and then they lost to Jacksonville. That kind of put it out of reach.
Not great.
Do you feel like maybe this team, after they got on the roll, they got a little complacent? And we're like, you know what? We know we're going to the playoffs. We're going to save our energy a little bit. I don't want to say you don't play hard every time you go out there.
I think that's a big possibility, but I also think when they came into this game, I hope they would think like, yeah, we want to win.
Sure. Yeah.
I also think that they came in thinking, oh, it's the Commanders. It's Sam Howell. Do you know who Sam Howell is? I sure don't.
I remember him from North Carolina.
Okay.
I think he went to North Carolina.
You don't remember.
They probably,
sure
they probably
Carolina
thought, oh, the backup for the Commanders. We got this in the bag. Wrong.
Not even the backup.
Third string.
Third guy.
Yeah.
And he went out and beat the Cowboys. Good for him.
Defense, offense looks like a shell of themselves.
Hey, we know about third string quarterbacks.
Yes.
Okay, you guys will have your time. This team looks like a shell of itself from middle of the season, or at least after Dak came back, because he did play well after that. And it's just, for confidence-wise, how do you feel? Because everybody's against you now.
Right.
I'm against them. I don't think, and I'm going to get to it in a second, they are not going to beat Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday. They are just not. I have never been more confident about anything in my entire life than them losing on Monday. I don't even think it's a possibility for them to win.
How much different do you think the line would be? So it's at 2.5 in favor of the Cowboys.
It was
right now.
it was 3.
It was 3.
Yesterday.
How much different do you think the line would be, even if they just won this game by a field goal?
I don't think it'd be that much different.
You don't think so? I feel like this was
I think it's still
definitely a confidence killer for Cowboys fans.
I think if the Cowboys would have won this game by a last second field goal, everybody in the media would have done the same exact thing they're doing right now. They're gonna be like, oh, so the Cowboys, yeah, they won the game, but how do you feel as a fan that this team could barely beat the Commanders with a third string quarterback before the playoffs start? It's clockwork.
Yeah.
We know this. We know what happens. This team was one of the top scoring offenses in the league. Now it's not because they only scored 6 points this week.
Right.
I don't get it. You guys don't understand being me in this situation. Because at least your team makes it to Super Bowls in the last 25 years, 27 years. At least your team has a good coach.
There's plenty
has
of
a good
pain, Gage.
organization.
Don't you worry.
Well, yeah, you guys.
Mike Singletary coached our team.
Can't coach him.
Can't win with him.
But
Can't do it.
at least you guys have had good happen, quote unquote good success.
I will say the last, trying to do my math right, 13 years have been fine.
Yes.
We've had some success.
Yeah.
We've had some really good teams.
So do you want to talk about the wild card stuff now, or you want to wait?
Let's wait till we get there. You're talking about matchups wise?
I'm talking about the Cowboys. Should we just wait?
Yeah, let's wait.
Okay, we'll wait.
I will say, I even feel, even though the Niners have won every game for the last 10 weeks, the 17 game schedule, I think, offers potential for complacency with a lot of teams. And I think the Niners kind of suffered through that the last 3 weeks, because even they didn't get off to a very good start against the Cardinals, even though they ended up winning 38-13. The defense wasn't great against Washington a few weeks ago. The Raiders gave them a run for their money, of course, 2 weeks ago. So I think I could put the Cowboys in that same situation, like we mentioned, but we'll see. I mean, playoffs are here, baby. It's time to put the pedal to the metal.
Playoffs.
Yeah. I have nothing really to say about the Niners game. It was just another walk in the park, for real.
This is what the Niners did to the Cardinals is what the Cowboys should have did to the Commanders.
You would think. I think the Commanders are a much better team than the Cardinals, even though they were playing with that backup quarterback. I think overall the Cardinals are a shit show.
Ron Rivera is good at getting his teams to play whether
No matter the
they're
circumstances.
playing with Cam Newton or
Yeah.
playing with Sam Howell.
He does not.
And he's a
consider circumstances.
defensive guy.
Yep.
So he knows what he's doing. I'll give him that. Would I want Ron Rivera as my coach? No. But I don't think he's a bad coach. If that makes any sense.
He took a team to a Super Bowl, so he's got that on his resume.
15-1 team. Yeah, you're right.
That's
15-1
it, yeah.
team.
And he's a survivor.
He is a survivor.
He beat cancer?
Mhm.
Yeah, he did. He's also on the 85 Bears.
And he went to Cal.
And also he was a part of the play.
He was part of the play, you're right?
Cal Stanford.
Yeah, he was one of the band members.
He was down. Hey, Sharks up 4-2. Let's go, baby.
He was down.
He was down.
It's okay though. That's why it happened in the 80s and not
Yes.
today.
Let's talk about some important things that happened in Week 18. The Jags are back in the playoffs, baby.
Bold prediction.
Came true.
How do you feel?
I feel great. Do you guys want to do a shot?
Do I owe you? Do we owe?
No, I just want to do a celebratory shot. Go Jags.
I think it defeats the purpose of bold prediction, but you do you, bud.
Here's the thing, though, is like bold predictions, they don't always have to be like sticking it to someone. Sometimes it could just be a celebration.
Let's take a shot.
Let's celebrate.
So I'll take it off the list.
This time we get to pick our own shot.
Yeah, you are in the history of bold predictions between you and I.
On Cash Money.
You're better than I am. Absolutely. I'm glad you were humble about it, but yeah, you are a lot. You're a lot better than I am.
The Apple one, that one sucked, right?
This is probably your second best bold prediction
Yeah.
behind the. Can you guess? Which I'm going to say.
The Warriors one is number one.
Oh,
The
the
Heat
Heat-
one is number one.
The
No,
Heat one is
no,
really
no.
good, though. I know you were going to say that, right?
Well, no, I don't think that was the Warriors one wasn't a bold prediction. It was
Fuck
part,
yeah, it was.
Well, no, we didn't have it on the list. It was part of your prediction NBA predictions.
It was, and then you were like, you almost wanted to say that me putting the Warriors in the conference championship was a bold prediction.
I don't think we had it on here though.
You may not have had it on your list, but I think it definitely went down as a BP.
Given my reaction, which everybody has seen, I'll give it to you. But I would put the actual bold prediction list is the Heat.
I'm
one
surprised you
first.
didn't write it down. I thought you did for
I
sure.
don't think we did.
I mean, if you go back to the video, you said that that's a bold prediction. Just putting them in the conference finals, and then I had them win the whole thing.
Okay,
So,
so I'll put the Warriors one. Do you think the Heat one is more impressive than the Jags one?
yeah, I think so.
The Heat one, because you called that in the first round.
I called it
The second.
right after the first round.
Right after
Yeah.
the first round.
And the Bucks were the number one seed, and they wouldn't fucking.
And you were hyped about that one.
Yeah, I was pretty excited. I'm glad I only said they got to get there because the Lakers made pretty easy work of them.
Yeah.
But
So bold predictions, you're pretty good. Me, on the other hand, not as much. Malik Willis.
bro, you just gotta believe. I don't think you believe enough.
Hey, you know which one right now is in play, even though I don't believe it's going to happen? Cowboys play the Niners in the playoffs next year and win. I said that last year.
Oh, okay. So for this year.
Oh, it's there, yeah.
It's in play.
Will you guys all do a sliced apple with me?
I thought you said it was terrible.
Yeah, it is.
No, this one I don't think was that
That's
bad.
not too bad.
No.
What's the one I was thinking? What were the really bad ones?
I don't,
Oh, the pink lemon.
I'm surprised Danny liked the pink lemonade one. I thought it was terrible.
Danny, do you have any bold predictions you need to pay for?
We did go over this.
You ask this every time I'm on.
Of course.
I win every bold prediction. I don't think I've ever lost
You
one.
did say.
I've never lost one.
So this is on the bold prediction list, but in my parentheses, it's not an official bold prediction.
For Brock?
Brock
Yeah,
Purdy.
that wasn't a
Yeah.
bold prediction.
But it's on here just so we know.
To keep me accountable for it.
Yeah.
Right.
If Purdy makes the Super Bowl, Danny will buy a jersey. If you make it.
Yeah.
So does that mean you will have the jersey by the time the Super Bowl starts?
We'll see. I think I should, but
I think you should. Send us a
just
picture.
depending if I
Send
can
us a
get it
picture
done.
when you get it.
Yeah. They just got to go, right?
They just have to go. And you'll have a number 13, red, maybe white, maybe black, shout out, Purdy jersey.
No black. That's disgusting.
Black.
It's got to be red. Got to be red.
Well, no, black jersey because the old, remember the jerseys that they did, the black ones that
Yeah,
were
they're
terrible.
fucking awful. That's why Danny will not get one.
No.
I will not let him get one.
I'm getting a camo one. Sorry, inside joke. We'll move on.
Very inside. Very inside.
Go Jags, baby.
Trevor Lawrence.
He's still a virgin, right?
Okay.
One cool thing about Trevor Lawrence
He's not a virgin?
is he's not a virgin.
Is that it?
He was never a virgin.
He's a man of God.
He was never a virgin.
He won the division with the Jags 4 years to the date that he won the national championship 4 years prior with Clemson
Well done.
in Santa Clara against Alabama.
I totally forgot until their last game that Balky's there.
Yeah, he's the GM. He's been there for a few years now, I think.
And I don't. We watched the national championship in 2019 at Rubicon. You might have been working.
Don't point at me.
You might have been working.
That's better. That's the Bill Clinton right there.
You weren't there, so I keep pointing at you. But you remember that? You remember watching that game? You were there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people thought Bama was going to win.
I think we all thought that, and then Clemson rolled.
And then T-Law just came in with his sunshine locks and
Sunshine.
Let him
It's
know.
nice seeing Trevor Lawrence play well. It's really nice. It's really nice.
I agree.
I love Trevor. We were huge on Trevor Lawrence. And then it was Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
We originally
Right.
loved Trevor Lawrence.
And it was very disappointing what happened with the team and him last year. So it's like you say, it's good to see that turnaround.
All right, I got a prediction. Just came to me.
Bold
Oh
prediction?
boy,
Bolden?
You can say if it's bold.
you just took your second shot.
You know you have to take a shot.
No, I have to take it if I lose.
No, you have to take it to make it.
Well, then I'll count that shot as it. Because I don't want to take
fine,
that shot.
fine.
Okay, we'll do that.
T-Law cuts the locks by next year, by the start of next NFL season.
Ooh, I like that
I
prediction.
think that's bold.
I think that is very bold
Because
because it's kind of signature.
I
you
have
know?
recently thought about him not having the locks, and it wouldn't be right. I think when he gets older, I think he'll cut them.
Yeah, and it'll be a big moment. But I've always felt that he should have got rid of him a long time ago.
Really?
It looks like
You know what, Danny? I'm gonna put that down because I like it.
I thought it was a good one.
So you think by the beginning of next season,
Yeah. So
He
he'll
will-
do it in the off season.
he will cut his hair off, or not
or
make.
just not have the.
It won't be like out the helmet.
Yeah, he's gonna have like the douche like fade. That I won't get that specific, but he'll cut the
His hair is very blonde, so it's hard to work with that as like short hair. I feel like, unless he just goes like kind of buzz cut.
No, you part
Yeah.
kind of
It,
Aaron Rodgers
no one knows what his hair is gonna look like when it's short, but it'll be interesting. It's gonna happen sometime.
because he's making the playoffs this year, so he's gonna mature,
Sure.
and so locks go.
Nice. Go Jags.
Go Jags.
That should have been on the button. that was outstanding.
That was good. That was good. I was not expecting that. That's why it was so good. Danny's bold prediction is in. You took your shot. We'll accept it. Thank you. We don't do a lot of bold predictions anymore.
It's not as not as.
But we never want to force them.
No.
As we've said, we never want to force them.
Not meant to be forced.
So.
I also want to say I'm really glad the Titans are not in the playoffs with Josh Dobbs playing quarterback. Would not have been a good look for the NFL.
That alopecia looking guy.
Chill.
It's the alum, okay?
Chill.
It's your school.
He still has alopecia. I don't know if he does or not. I don't think he does. I think it's just
Also, the Dolphins got their first playoff appearance, or are going to get their first playoff appearance since 2016.
Fins up.
After Skylar Thompson and the Dolphins.
This is what I think about.
Yeah. Beat the Jets 11-6.
Can we get like 15 of these?
Right?
and just
have, yeah.
and put like
You know, yeah, that would be the soundboard right there.
it could be the sound.
Have you looked at those
Hey,
yet?
that is a ghetto
Not
soundboard.
really. Like I sorted it one time, but I didn't find much. That'd be
That's
hilarious.
doable.
Yeah.
That's doable.
At least have just like 5 of them.
Yeah.
I don't think it was expensive. So.
Oh yeah, and you could change them up as you go.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's actually get 5, and then you can just
Just have some signature ones that don't change.
As long as it sounds okay though for the listeners. It probably doesn't sound great on YouTube. It might.
Probably not. No.
Whatever.
But anyways, no rush, no problem for the Seahawks. They're back in the playoffs.
I saw Geno Smith as the all-time passing leader for a season for the Seahawks.
For
Or
just like everything, or yards, or what?
passing yards
Passing
for a
yards.
season.
Nice.
And I know a lot of these records will change due to the extra game.
Yeah, that is one thing about a lot of the records.
But hey, you can't control what the NFL does, and congrats to Geno Smith. He will be the comeback player of the year. I don't think it's a question.
What is he coming back from though? Being a bench player.
Yeah. Wait, being on the bench and then.
Because doesn't come back when you like either have a really bad year and then you come back and play really well, or you were hurt and then play really well. I feel like more often than not it goes to someone that was hurt. Because I was watching Sports Talk today and that was mentioned. Like, what is he actually coming back from? Just not being a player.
Relevant. Yeah.
No, yeah. I guess I don't know. I just don't know how it's going to be interpreted when the voters go for it. Because I don't totally disagree with you. He had a great year for all things considered.
I would give it to him. I think second, you could be sentimental and give it to Damar Hamlin if you really wanted to.
But he's also not coming back from anything. Because to me,
or maybe, yeah, I know what you mean.
Right.
I think Saquon could have been in that mix. He kind of
Saquon actually, yeah.
My pick would be
first half of the season for sure.
The only thing is Saquon played a lot last year, so it's not like
well, he played badly though.
He did.
Not an injury guy, but I'm saying played bad.
he did. Yeah, he wasn't himself.
my pick would be Geno Smith because like, what do you mean? What he came back from? He came back from irrelevance.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it's going to be all about what the voters interpret that as.
Yeah.
To me, yeah. I don't even know what it says within the description of the award. I mean, I think Christian McCaffrey could be in that.
I think he could
If you
too.
think about it.
I would pick Geno Smith personally.
Yeah. So Seahawks, they had a nail biter win over the Rams in overtime, 1916.
The Seahawks tried to win the game in regulation.
And
Doinked off.
it. Yeah, that was Robbie Goldish, if you will.
Chill, dude. Chill.
They did need help from the Lions, who beat the Packers on Sunday Night Football last game of the season, which was pretty epic. Who doesn't love seeing the Packers just go home?
I love seeing Danny might not because he's a boner for Aaron Rodgers.
I don't have a boner for Aaron Rodgers. He's a good dude.
You were saying last night he's not a.
He's a douchebag.
I don't know Aaron Rodgers, so I can't say he's a good dude or a bad dude. But if I were to take a guess, he's more douchey than he is good.
To me, regardless of anything that's happened over the last 2 years, Aaron Rodgers, to me, is a douchebag.
Am I a little biased? Yes, because he whoops on the Cowboys every time they play. But I still, even besides that, do I think I like how he's a free thinker and he did like the ayahuasca, whatever the hell that is. I don't know what that is.
He did that like 20 years ago, though.
No, he did it in this last offseason.
Did he do it again?
Last offseason,
Okay.
yeah.
I think he said he experimented with first time like 20 years ago, though.
Maybe,
Yeah.
I saw a reporter ask him, "Could you walk away from $50 million this year?"
And he said, yeah.
He said yes. Yeah.
He's not going to.
I respect it, but I don't.
I don't believe him by any means.
Who could walk away from that besides like Jeff Bezos?
He ain't going back to the Packers though. I'm not sure.
You don't think so? I think he is. No,
Is that a bold prediction?
I think he is. I don't think it's a bold prediction, but I think he'll be back. Because no other team is going to give him that salary, and I think that's probably what means more to him at this point.
Maybe the Raiders. Devontae?
But that would be funny. The Raiders don't even want
Could
to
you
pay.
imagine seeing
The Raiders don't want
Rodgers?
to pay anyone.
Can you imagine seeing Rodgers in the silver and black?
That would be funny.
What would be weirder, seeing Rodgers in the silver and black or Brady in the silver and black?
I think Rodgers, but
No,
both
I
would
think
both would be weird.
I think Brady would be weirder in silver and black.
Because Raiders fans do not like Tom Brady because of the Tuck rule.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That is a good point. I think Rodgers will be weirder because I've never seen him in another uniform. Brady's been in 2 uniforms now.
I understand that too.
And just the fact that it's already been floated that Tom Brady could be a Raider.
Aaron Rodgers, though,
I don't know. I think the Packers the last 5 years or so have kind of been a dumpster fire with their organization.
Well,
Maybe not 5 years. Maybe
This
last
year,
3.
it's not been pretty.
Well, Jordan Love drafting him. I think that started it.
I do think he's going to be the successor, or at least try to be. He has to be.
Yeah, I would think so.
It would not shock me if Jordan Love was successful in Green Bay.
You know, when he came into that game, I can't remember who they were playing. It was a primetime game. And he played well.
He balled out.
Yeah. It was against the Eagles, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Hurts.
Middle. That's right. Good call, Danny. It was like middle of the season. The Packers lost the game, but he came in relief and
Throw a couple
played well.
tutties.
Yeah, he was slinging it. Yeah, we'll see.
They just don't give him weapons. I mean, of course, Devontae ended up being a weapon, but
Right. But he wasn't like a high round draft pick.
I don't think they've ever drafted a wide receiver with the first round
No.
since Rodgers has been there.
Correct.
But it's no guarantee that a first round receiver is
I think
gonna
your
be-
odds are a lot better, though.
I would say over the last handful of years, the first round receivers have been amazing. There's no question about that. But in the past, you're absolutely.
But they still had Jordy Nelson and he had Greg Jennings.
He's had good receiving cores. There's no.
No,
question.
yeah.
And could you debate, is it because of Rodgers that they're so good or vice versa? Of course.
There's a little bit of both.
It's
Always a little bit of both.
it works both ways. You know, it equals it out.
Yeah.
Like Jordy Nelson, Aaron Rodgers loved him.
Oh yeah.
Like loved throwing him because he was
I think
a great
Jordan
player.
Nelson probably doesn't have the same career numbers without Aaron Rodgers.
No.
like Greg Jennings to me is a better player than Jordy
Probably.
Nelson.
Yeah, probably.
But Jordy Nelson's
Greg was a lot older, though, too.
But Jordy Nelson's a Green Bay legend.
Yeah. No, he had some
Well,
awesome,
both. I'd say
awesome
both
seasons.
are
Was Jordy on the Super Bowl team?
Yeah,
As but more of a role player, not a standout. Yeah.
The only thing I remember from that Super Bowl was that Charles Woodson got injured in that game, like the first quarter.
I don't remember that, but that's good.
I don't remember who they played.
Steelers.
Was
It,
it?
it was a close game. Like, the Steelers.
Steelers had the ball with a chance to win.
Yes.
Or go ahead.
I think it either was like intercepted by Big Ben.
It was like-
either through
I
interception
feel like
or
it
it
was
was
turnover.
or it was
on
fourth
downs.
fourth down. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
might
it
have
was
been
turnover downs. Yeah. In the last couple of minutes. Yeah.
Because I remember if the Steelers would have scored, I think the Packers were up 6. If the
Yeah, 5 or 6, yeah.
Steelers would have scored, they would have been up 6 or tied it and then
Yeah.
extra point. I don't think there was a lot of time left. I remember watching that at Arb's house. I don't know if you were there, but I remember
I don't remember where I watched that.
Maybe
Maybe
I
I was there.
there was
Yeah, I don't know.
there was a good stretch where I watched a lot of games at Arb's house or a lot of Super Bowls at Arb's
Yeah.
house.
I was a
I
part of
watched
that,
it. I watched
too.
at least 2 or if not 3.
I was definitely there for the Niners one because I remember
I
Yeah.
wasn't.
yeah, he had to go outside.
Yeah.
I'll never forget because it was probably the biggest moment in Super Bowl, at least from our age, at his house watching the Giants Patriots the catch.
Oh, I know I was here for that.
I was at Cody's house on Franklin Street.
Yeah.
Okay,
The Giants-
I was at Arbs for that.
Giants
one.
Patriots. I remember that. I'll never forget where I was for that catch. I think I was at Arbs for the Colts Saints game. I remember Peyton Manning throwing the interception.
The pick six that kind of sealed it. Yeah. That was a good game too. I always love to think about teams that are either blew it down the stretch of the season or are on a heater to get into the playoffs. And our Niners obviously on a 10-game win streak.
How many?
10.
Oh, 10.
Count them.
That's a lot, right?
That's a good number.
It's a very good.
That's
number.
over half the season.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's quite a few.
Like I've said before, it's hard to believe that the last loss was that.
The Chiefs game we went out and watched.
The first game that McCaffrey was on the Niners.
Ever since. But McCaffrey didn't start. Every game that McCaffrey started,
Hey, Trey,
undefeated, baby.
Trey, give up your number.
Yeah, right? Give him the 5.
Give him a 5.
Actually, I like his number, though.
23?
23 is clean.
It works. It
I don't
looks
like
good
it.
on him.
I don't like 5. We know this. I don't
Yeah.
like it.
5 is a good number. What do you
It's
think?
not.
5's a good number. Why don't you like 5?
Just the way it looks. I don't like it.
All right, real quick. Rank or your favorite single digits.
I know you guys
Top 3.
hate mine because it's just my all-time favorite number,
What is it?
but 6.
Nah, I'm not a 6 guy.
I'm an 8 guy.
I think 6 is the last.
I'm an 8 guy.
8's your favorite?
8.
For me, I always like 7.
I think 7's ugly too.
And I think 7 also is a great complement to other numbers. Like
Okay.
17 and 27.
You like 27, and I
I
like
like 27. 27 is my
I think
favorite.
9 would be my last.
Last, really?
Single digits, I'd probably go 1. It's douchey. But I'd go,
Is your favorite?
I'd go 1 and then 8.
Or
8.
8 and then 1?
8 and then 1.
8 and then 1.
8 and then 1.
I also like, I think 5 is number 2 for me. And I know you don't like 5 either.
Well,
We- I guess-
if you flip it upside down, it's 2.
Yeah, right. I know you. I guess we see numbers differently, but I go 7, then 5, then. Eight's not bad. I like 8.
I love 8.
Yeah.
I think 8's the cleanest.
It's a
single
great number.
Single
It's a good
digit number. And my little, Troy Aikman, of course. But I think 8 is clean. I really do.
2's a solid one.
I think of Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan, Derek Jeter, of course.
Oh yeah, Jeter. Jeez.
Jeez McGee's.
One of the captains.
6, I can't.
I'm biased too. It's always been my number growing up.
Yeah. Oh really?
I've always rocked.
Well,
number
you like
6,
JT Snow.
and I like JT Snow.
Yeah. I respect that.
Yeah.
So I'll say 9's my.
Like I think that's why I've always wanted 100 Pence jersey because I love number 8.
I like the 8 on the Pence jersey too.
I thought it was because you're a big Steve Young guy.
I mean, Steve
Right.
Young was a great player and he was number 8.
And you loved him, right?
I thought he was your favorite.
I don't think I ever saw Steve Young play that I remember.
None of us did.
Yeah, definitely did.
You remember watching Steve Young play
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when he retired.
in 1999?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that at all.
I remember that.
The first 49ers games that I can really recall were like 2001 or 2. Probably 2001.
I specifically remember his retirement day because it was a big thing
Yeah.
watching it.
Of course.
But he had been missing games before that, right?
Yeah,
'Cause of
I
injury?
didn't remember
Right,
that much,
yeah.
but I just remember the day he retired.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, yeah, I watched him. But yeah, he retired because of head injuries.
Right. Anyways, back to heaters. Cincinnati on an 8-game winning streak heading to the playoffs. Buffalo 7. So AFC teams are and Kansas City on the 5-game winning streak.
Yep.
Jacksonville, they had to win all those 5 games pretty much to get in. So congratulations
And
to
they
them.
did.
And
And
sure
they did.
Congrats to T-Law and the boys.
Also, Kirk ended up being an awesome pickup. I think people were.
Go Christian Kirk.
Yeah,
You know what's funny is I just saw this.
he's balling.
I saw this Instagram reel about this guy shitting on all of the pickups that the Jags made before the season, and the reel was from before the season, and it was all of the receivers. It was Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, and the tight end Evan Ingram, and they all had career years.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, because he was the first receiver to get paid, right? Out of
Pretty
that
much,
list.
yeah, right out the gate. There weren't the free agent wide receiver market wasn't amazing. There was some trades that were made, like obviously Tyreek.
Well, all the receivers got paid though.
Right. Yeah. Oh yes.
Tyreek, Debo.
Yeah.
Kirk.
Yeah. Some notable cold streaks down the stretch. Tennessee lost their last 7 games to miss the playoffs. Same with pretty much the Jets were 7-4 and they lost their last 6 games. Not pretty. And even like the AFC North was up for grabs, or South rather, was up for grabs. Indianapolis lost their last 7 games with Your boy Jeff Sunday.
Jeff Sunday. He won his first game, then lost the last
Last 7.
7. That's tough.
Bum.
That's tough. Are you gonna keep Jeff Sunday as a fantasy name? I think it's clean.
It's kind of funny, but
It's kind of funny.
it's if he's not a coach next year, it's definitely gone.
Okay.
I'll consider it if he stays as coach.
Change it to every given Sunday.
Every given Jeff Sunday.
As far as coaching fires, Lovie Smith gone from the Texans and Cliff Kingsbury out as Cardinals coach. Not terribly surprising on those fronts. We got 4 job openings as of right now. Those could open up a little more, but we got Bears, Cardinals, obviously, and then Colts and Broncos, who made those changes mid-season.
You know what's gonna be sad about those job opportunities? Is watching another Niner coach leave for a head.
Yeah,
coaching
I mean,
position.
it sounds pretty inevitable that D'Amico Ryans is going to be gone,
Yep.
which he was really awesome. Although, I will give credit to Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch for bringing in Anthony Lynn as an assistant the previous year, because he was head coach of the Chargers and a defensive coordinator before that, and got his job because of his work as a defensive coordinator. So if we do indeed lose D'Amico Ryans, he
I mean, you love seeing people succeed, especially.
100%. Yeah.
But 3 years in a row,
I know, it's tough. It's tough.
losing.
Or
Yeah.
3, well, D'Amico's been there for 2 years, but it would be 3 out of 4 years, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because he did, I think he interviewed,
Salah,
Salo was,
and then it was a break, and then McDonald.
right. Or D'Amico Ryans. Yeah.
Huh? Mike, though.
Mike McDaniel.
McDaniel.
Oh,
McDaniel,
yes,
sorry.
you're right. Because they did, you're talking about just coordinators in general.
You just coach it, yeah.
Yeah, well, it did go. Yeah, it would be 3 years if he left in a row. But yeah, I mean, I would be happy for D'Amico Ryans because he deserves a job. He's done maybe even a better job than Robert Saleh did. You could argue. Who knows if maybe they're more talented now than they were, but yeah, definitely a good coach. What are you thinking about Sean McVay possibly leaving the Rams? I think this is crazy to think about. He's only 36 years old.
It depends on the money that he's getting thrown at from one of the networks.
Do you think he would only do it for television?
Yeah. Based off what I've read, yeah, I think
Right.
so.
It's
You're
just
saying leaving coaching entirely? And
well, just for, or at least for now, to take a job in television.
And it's just, he won a Super Bowl, and it just the whole Rams situation is weird because
They sold out for that Super Bowl.
they sold out. But as a fan, I think we would give anything in
Oh,
our
yeah.
lifetime to see one, just to
100%.
see one.
Yeah.
If we were to ask Nico right now, you'd say, you know what?
I don't care.
We sucked this
Yeah.
year, but I got the one last year, and that's all I care about.
Yeah, of course, everyone wants the Patriots dynasty, but if you could just have one and you've never had one, you're gonna take it.
Of course.
Yeah.
So if Sean McVay leaves, I don't think Rams fans would love that. But what are they going to say? Like, this guy won us our Super Bowl that we wanted since 2002 or 1.
I don't think me and Emerson want him to leave.
What?
I would not be mad if he left.
Well, exactly. I mean, yeah, this year was bad, but I think next year could be different.
Well, just because, at least regular season, we own him.
True.
That's true.
We have his balls in our purse.
For the last 4 years.
Maybe
yes.
that's where you rock a purse.
But not in the NFC Championship, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't win them all.
Hey, the game that matters the
He
most.
does have the most meaningful one
He does.
out of the 9.
He does.
When's Romo going to be the Cowboys coach?
Surprised it wasn't Jason Witten.
I'm surprised that Tony Romo isn't interested in coaching. The way that he talks on television, you're like, fucking quarterback coach.
No,
something.
the way he talks on TV, it's like, wait, how come you didn't know this kind of shit when you were playing quarterback?
Just because
doesn't
you
make-
know shit doesn't mean you can execute shit.
But
I'm just saying.
No, I know what you mean, but Tony Romo does not need to be the coach of the Cowboys.
No,
That would be a joke.
that would be pretty
That'd
funny.
be a joke.
That'd be pretty funny.
Absolute joke.
Who almost got the, I think it was the Texans job, the ex-quarterback, with like 0 experience.
Oh, Josh McCown.
Josh
Yeah.
McCown, yeah.
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
That would have been bad.
Which I'm sure his
That
name's going to
that
get
would-
floated again this
That
year.
would have been a bad
I'm sure it will. Probably has a better chance now.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Lovey's proven something, but he's been kind of a joke the last 5+ years.
Lovey got put in a situation that was unwinnable. And the Texans are dog shit kind of for that. And I'm glad that the Texans won the last game of the season and then lost that first pick of the draft because fuck their ownership. Fuck their ownership.
That's why Lovey got fired.
Yeah.
Well, like I said yesterday, it's a conspiracy because Lovie Smith used to coach for the Bears.
Yeah,
and he wanted the
yeah.
Bears to do well. Hey, you can't prove me right. You
It's a
can't prove me
stretch.
wrong. Can't do it.
It's a stretch.
I won't get into it, but have you ever heard the conspiracy of the Bucks Raiders Super Bowl with Gruden and the
Changing the game plan and like tanking basically the game.
because that was his assistant coach,
Yeah.
the guy who took over
over.
the Raiders.
I think I've read something about that before.
It's weird. The players are like a lot of like Tim Brown thinks that something
Yeah.
was odd.
Really?
Yeah.
I just can't imagine being a part of the Raiders organization and buying into that. I don't know. It would feel like
Well, you have their center that leaves the day before the Super Bowl and doesn't play.
It was just a lot of weirdness.
Mike Janikowski can't be found, or not Mike.
Sebastian
Janikowski.
Mike. It's Mike, Sebastian, same thing.
I think I was thinking Mike Vanderjack,
Mike Vanderjack, great kicker
great kicker.
for the Colts. Yeah.
The Colts, yeah. Sebastian Janikowski couldn't be found.
Yeah.
It all was just weird for the Raiders that time. So
Raider fashion.
Raider fashion. Exactly.
Quick thoughts on Jim Harbaugh potentially going to the Broncos.
No.
Negative.
Negative.
You say stays in Michigan?
Yeah.
I think he absolutely should stay in Michigan, but I think the Broncos actually kind of make sense. What do you think?
Wherever the money's at for him, I think at this point, I don't think he's necessarily invested in Michigan.
I don't know. I think he does have a soft spot for Michigan. I think it would take a lot of money though, like significantly more money
To
than
go
he
back
makes
to the NFL?
to go back. Or the perfect scenario. I think Denver is kind of a bit of a rebuild, but we've seen him take rebuilds and turn them around real fast, like the
I think on
Niners.
paper, though, I mean, obviously the season didn't pan out. They have weapons.
They have
Russ is a
players.
weapon.
The defense was really good this year.
The defense was good.
Yeah.
You have,
You just got to get Russ.
Judy.
Yeah, you got to get Russ in line. You got to get that running game going.
yeah.
If you don't have a running game, and Jim Harbaugh loves to run the ball, but if you don't have a running game with a quarterback that you're not really trusting, and Russ is not as athletic. He proved that this year.
Yeah.
He's not as athletic as he has been in the past.
Well, he also got sacked the most, I think, in the league, so give him an O-line.
Yeah, that's also important. But just give him down a distance that's reasonable would be huge, I think,
Yeah.
for him.
That would be probably the most compelling team to go for.
Yeah,
out of all the
I
other-
don't see, like, I know the Colts, he played there, blah, blah, blah.
I thought that too,
But
but
it
there's
just
nothing
isn't
going for them.
There really isn't at all. I don't see that working great. Who else?
Carolina.
Carolina and Arizona. I don't know. There's nothing really going for them either.
Arizona could be compelling. I think they do have a lot of weapons.
I don't see him working with a guy like Kyler Murray. He wasn't. I mean, I know Kaepernick was a runner, sort of, but I don't know if that's like the perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Broncos is probably the only team he would leave for, but I hope he stays in Michigan. I think that's a better spot for him.
He'll be a legend if he. I mean, he already is kind of a legend for making them more relevant
Right.
than they have ever been in
A long time, yeah.
And I'm sure Michigan will throw a bunch of money at him too.
Yeah, I mean, he already makes a lot of money, and I'm sure they could afford a couple more million a year.
And he thinks, Michigan this year, we made it to the semifinal, lost TCU, but you see,
They went 13-1 and 12-2 in two consecutive.
he's
years.
got to think we could probably put a better fight against Georgia than TCU did.
He probably would think that. But like we said earlier, he's probably glad that he didn't have to do it because we saw what happened. Did you got anything else for Week 18? Other than wishing the Cowboys didn't have to play the Bucks?
Yeah, I do. Mike Tomlin, 16 seasons, no losing seasons.
That's unreal.
awesome.
Unreal.
Tom Brady had his first losing season in his career.
Also unreal.
Unreal. Do you know?
And he still made the playoffs.
they lost that last game.
Yeah, I think they gave up
They're
after the first quarter.
8-9. Do you know how many touchdowns Jamal Williams has this season rushing?
17.
He broke Barry Sanders' record, and I know, like I said earlier, extra games, so it gives you more chances to break it. But
Sure.
he had 17 rushing touchdowns. That's a lot.
And that led the league, right?
Yes, that's more than I ever thought he'd have.
Because it was
And
the
then-
Lions
yeah.
franchise record that he broke.
And then next year, the Cowboys play the Niners in Santa Clara regular season game.
Let's go!
We gotta
Let's do it.
Let's try to go.
Yeah.
Put us down.
Let's try to
Yeah.
go.
I'm down.
No, don't try. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, it might be one of the more expensive games on the Niners schedule, but it's going to be a regular season game.
Why do I feel like it'll be the first game of the season?
I would hope they didn't do that, but you never know.
I'm excited because I don't think the Cowboys have played.
I could see it being that if
like
the Niners and Cowboys play again this postseason, and then want that to be like a big opening game or something.
or especially like the Niners
if one of the teams wins
or,
the Super Bowl.
Niners win the Super Bowl or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. Which will bump the prices up a little bit. Won't be great, but I really would like to shoot for this game. I know we're doing a lot this beginning of the year anyway,
Right.
but it's not until September.
Yeah, it's going to be months.
I think this is very doable.
I'm totally down.
I bet you my dad will want to go to this game. I bet you if I told my
We
dad,
should-
hey, if I told my dad like, hey, let's go to this game. A couple of my boys will go. We'll figure it out. My dad's
Yeah.
like, fuck it, we're
Yeah,
gonna go.
I'm totally down.
We should go.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't able to go with you guys to Dylan's birthday because like for you guys it's cool because you see
I don't
your,
blame you at
you see
all.
your,
I get it.
you see
I
your
don't blame
favorite
you at
team.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to root for the Saints and pay $200 for it or whatever, or $150.
Or the Vikings.
Yeah, but the Cowboys. I mean, if the Cowboys play the Niners, I've never seen a Cowboys regular season game before.
That'd be fun.
So this is something that we should absolutely shoot for.
Yes, I'm down.
And
I'm there.
I'm excited that this is on the schedule.
Yes.
I really am. I'll be nervous as fuck, regardless. Bragging rights, all the way.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait for the Niners and Cowboys NFC Championship games.
it's
Ooh.
not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
You never know.
Would you even consider going to that game?
Yeah, I'd absolutely consider it.
Pay like $1,000.
You could probably get in for 500. The only thing is,
Would you? You've said this before.
I'd have to weigh the, you know, or the pros and cons of, do I want to watch it with all my friends,
Exactly.
or just go with like a couple people that are willing to pay that money, and be in the stadium.
Yeah. I think watching it on TV sounds better because playoff games are just they're so expensive.
Right.
They're so expensive, and I think watching it with a bunch of people, like we did last year, it was awesome.
I've never done the NFL playoff thing though, so that would be fun.
We'll see. We'll see.
Then playoffs for pretty much everything else. No, not basketball, but yeah.
The Cowboys won't get past this week's, but if they do, you never know. You never know.
No faith.
What about you? Do you have anything else for?
Nah,
This
I think we're ready for play of the week, right?
We are. Yeah.
Who you got?
Mine's Naheem Himes, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, gotta give it to him.
2 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
That's a good one,
The first one, like I said, the kickoff to start the game.
right?
And,
Epic.
and it just seems like it's all for Damar at this point. Yeah, it's. I could not give it to him.
I didn't even think about it, but that's an easy pick. It's a perfect pick.
Thank you.
Mine is Josh Allen, but not the Josh Allen that you're thinking of. The Josh Allen that plays defense for the Jacksonville Jaguars and picked up that fumble that Josh Dobbs, committed in the fourth quarter,
I like
and he picked it up and took it for a touchdown.
I like that.
He also had a tackle for loss in the game, a couple quarterback hits. He was a high round draft pick, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Really?
Just hasn't totally panned out, but kudos to the Jacksonville Josh Allen for getting them to the playoffs.
I like that. I thought you'd pick Naheem Himes too.
No, but I like that you did. I'm glad you did.
I appreciate it.
Okay, we're gonna do this as quickly as possible.
Oh, I don't get one.
You want? Who's your player of the week? Who you got?
It's a little more sentimental, but gonna give it to JJ Watt.
Nice.
Last career game.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
That's a fucking good one.
What a legend.
Is he going to the Hall of Fame?
Oh, I don't know.
I
Just
think
due
he's
to
a
his
lock.
injuries.
I think he's
You
a lock.
He said he's a lock.
I think he's a luck. But that's just me.
I think he might not be like first ballot. I know they don't really do the first ballot thing like baseball does, but I think he'll get it.
He's in the Hall of Fame, the heart of all the Texan fans. That
Yeah.
dude is
Yeah.
a Texan for life.
Here's what to me gets him in is that he had 4 unbelievably dominant seasons to start his career. And then injuries, of course, were a factor.
Mhm.
But he came back from an injury and had another dominant season.
Absolutely.
More injuries, and came back and had 2 more quality seasons. So I think that gets him in for me.
Okay.
If you have 4 dominant seasons, especially defensive line is a rugged position like that. You're not.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're not guaranteed health on that position by any means.
Yeah.
And he was really, really awesome at it. He was Aaron Donald before Aaron Donald, pretty much.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good pick, Danny. That's better than I think.
love that.
Better than my pick.
Also, another number on J.J. Watt. His last 2 games that he played were the last 2 stadiums that he had never played in his career.
Huh.
In Atlanta and then in Santa Clara.
Huh.
That's perfect.
It's amazing.
That's perfect.
It's too good to be true.
That is an early candidate for stat of the year.
Right?
I never would have ever even known that. So congratulations.
Yeah.
We started doing stat of the year.
I like that.
I like that too. That's a nice stat.
I think on the next episode we should do the 2022 ISR awards, and we will have to, from right now till then, come up with what the awards are going to be.
Yes.
They can be goofy if we want.
Yeah.
They can be serious if we want. But
I like that.
I know, and you're the one who brought this up about doing it.
and
You
I-
weren't sure about it happening this year, but I think we should do it.
I totally bit off of KMBR. They do an award show. Murphy Mac do it every year. But I think it's a good idea. Every show.
You know what? I'll bite.
Thank you. We could do best guest. We could do best peanut gallery. We could do all these kind of things. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Danny might be on there. We'll see.
Might be on there.
Okay, real quick, season prediction recap. It's not totally over, obviously, because we do a playoff prediction as well. But how do you feel like you did over there, Mr. Gage, on your teams that you made the playoffs? And you did win totals as well, right?
I did. Yes. So I feel pretty good about my playoffs, or not the seeding, but the teams making the playoffs.
Right. It's so hard.
I had the Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, Ravens, and Chargers making it. I had the Colts making it, which is terrible. I had them winning the division.
I did too, so we're both on that.
Really bad pick.
Both on that.
Also had the Broncos, hashtag let's hide, making it. Not good.
Let's hide.
But, two out of 7 is not bad. Or not.
Yeah,
or
five out of 7.
5 out of 7 is
solid,
not bad.
for sure.
What about you?
AFC, I was just about the same. I did get Miami,
Yeah.
which you didn't have that, right?
No. I didn't.
Yeah. But I missed on Cincinnati big time. I also had, obviously, Buffalo, Kansas City in there. I did put Indianapolis and Denver as well. Put the Chargers in.
I had Miami winning only 7 games this year.
I had them at 10.
And they
got
won 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was actually, if I look at the whole thing, my predictions on record, the AFC East I did really well on.
For some reason, I put quotation marks next to the Colts. I feel really good about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I felt
That's hilarious.
really good about it for some reason.
Yeah.
And the NFC for me, I had the Bucks, Eagles, Cowboys, Niners, and Vikings making it, which they did make it.
Nice.
Unfortunately for myself, I had the Packers as the 1 seed, winning 13 games. Ouch. And the Rams winning 11 games. Also ouch. We also both have the Rams making it to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Triple ouch.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah, I did not do well on the NFC side. I had New Orleans making the playoffs. Did not happen. I had Green Bay making the playoffs. Yeah, okay, New Orleans won 7 games. I had them winning 9. Not that bad.
In perspective, the Buccaneers won 8 and they won the division.
Right. I had Green Bay making the playoffs. They missed narrowly. I had Arizona in the playoffs.
Well, how deep did you have Arizona going?
Kind of far. A couple games in.
To the championship game.
Championship game.
That's tough.
But I also had the Rams in the Super Bowl, like you did as well, and they won 5 games. So, yeah, NFC was not pretty for me.
The fact that I was able to have...
Because you went Niners and Cowboys both in the playoffs, right?
Yes.
I did not have either of them in the playoffs, which I whiffed on.
Yes. But I don't think I had... No, I had the Niners... Oh, wait. I had the Rams winning the division.
Yeah.
The Niners...
That sounds
in the wild
sorry,
card.
yeah.
But it's, I'll also take that.
Did you nail anyone's win total?
Off the top of my head, I don't think I did.
Did not see any? Really? 0?
Or in the NFC...
Just in general?
Like you're talking like
No,
playoff teams?
Like the actual win, because you did win totals,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Did you nail anyone's win total?
Did
I did a few, actually.
What did the Ravens end up being?
Ravens were 10-7.
I had 11-6.
I had 11-6 as well.
I had the Bills 13-4. They
They went 13-3. I had them at 13-4 as well, so I'll give that to us.
Bengals 10-7. They did better than that. I had the Chargers at 10-7.
I nailed that one as well.
Okay,
Let's go.
Nice. I had the Chiefs 12-5. They did better than that.
Yeah, same.
I had the Texans at 3-14. What were they at?
3 and 13-1. So we both nailed that because I had 3 and
There we
14.
go.
I also had Carolina 7-10. They went 7-10, which is super random, but I'll take it.
Besides that,
I had a couple of them were really close, but yeah.
Let's see.
I hate that we both have Buffalo and
I
the
know.
Rams in the Super Bowl.
It's usually how we do it.
Because I don't feel like obviously the Rams can't, but I don't really feel like the Bills are the favorite to get there at this point. Man, this is
No,
gonna be a 3-hour episode.
Pretty much about it. Pretty much about it. So better than nothing.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah,
I gotta take a piss.
me too. Sorry, YouTube. It's just gonna be the way it is today.
I know. I'm watching the time. I'm like, oh, this is like getting away from us.
Yeah, it's getting long.
I feel like the tangents aren't that long either, but just
We're just going for it. Let's see where the Warriors are at right now.
should we get a gauge on this one?
How about them Cowboys?
Yes. Dubs are down 14. Damn. Yes. Hopefully he did not hear that.
We're so ready for you to do the fart.
While the YouTube audience is waiting, who do you think's going to the Super Bowl right now?
Oh God.
It's fairly wide open.
I think this is a tough one for sure.
You can tell Gage.
Chief Niners.
Chiefs Niners, I like that pick.
I think that's what I'm gonna pick in our pool.
Stop it.
Sorry to our YouTube audience that you have to, or two people who have to watch us go to the bathroom. But
Oh, you're not. You can't edit it.
he has tried, but he says it's so hard because it's the frame by frame. I've never tried to do it, so
Well, the best way to do it is just remember your timestamp of when you stopped it, and then remember when you started back up,
yeah, it's not
and then
bad.
just cut that.
Yeah. Not too bad. I like that idea. Beer?
I don't know. Probably should, since it sounds like we'll be here for a little bit longer.
I'll crack it open for you if you want.
Yeah, I'm cracking one down.
Jeez, nuts.
Put that somewhere.
There we go.
Put that. You want a single save? All right. So, you ready for this, Gage? Top 6? Final
Top
rankings
6.
of the year? Which really is top 4 because what is this all about? Being in
The top 4.
the playoff,
Yeah.
if you will.
Well, thank you for saying that because I've been doing this all year based off that, and you make fun of me countless weeks in a row.
I hate your teams.
You don't like them.
I'm kidding.
So, you want to go first or want me to go first?
I'll go first. So still at number 1, Eagles 14-3. When Jalen Hurts plays quarterback, they're 14-1. I think that means something. I don't think any other team is quite that good. So I can't take that away from them. They are number 1 still. I still have the Bills number 2. I mean, they got the win over Kansas City. That's
With
pretty-
13 wins.
with 13 wins, 13-3. I mean, they beat the Chiefs, so I like that. That's a good win. No one else, I mean, the fact that the Chiefs are the only other team that has only 3 losses, I couldn't put them above Buffalo for that reason.
Okay.
So I have the Chiefs at number 3. Number 4 was kind of tough, but I stuck with the Bengals. They had that win over Kansas City, which I think is the best win out of any team in the top 4. So I would like to give them that chance personally to earn another win against a top team. I think the Niners could have been in that, but they don't really have a win against like a really high quality team. So I felt like resume wise they didn't quite deserve it. And then at number 5, which this doesn't matter, but my just outside were Niners and Cowboys.
Okay.
The only other team I considered was the Vikings for being 13-4, but them having a negative point differential, just I can't overlook that personally, and I've said that numerous times on this segment of the show. But that's where I'm at.
Quick
still.
with that in jail too.
Yeah. Well, luckily this is the last time we're gonna do this this year. So
which is sad because I do enjoy doing.
I like this. This is a good part of the show for sure. So yeah, so Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, Bengals are my 4 teams that I believe would be in my college football style NFL playoff.
Our top 6 is very different. I have the Chiefs at 1 at 14-3, Eagles at 2 at 14-3. I have the Bills actually going over the Vikings at 13-3 because they technically have a higher win percentage than the Vikings, even though the Vikings beat them. I have the Vikings at 4 at 13-4, Niners at 13-4, and then the Bengals at 12-4 because they have a higher win percentage than the Cowboys, even though the Cowboys beat the Bengals.
Personally, I didn't want to just post the NFL standings, so that's why I didn't do it that way. But I see where you're coming from. Wins are important.
Yes.
Wins are important. I didn't make them unimportant, I don't feel like, in my list, but I like to, bring in other factors to make my list.
And also the Cowboys eating shit last week did not help their cause.
Right, because I would have had, if the Cowboys won, I think I would have had them above the Bengals. I would have had them probably number 4.
So, that's that.
There it is.
Cheers to the
Chain.
top 6.
It's in the books. It's no longer. 2023 is over. So you would have had the Chiefs and the Vikings playing first round? Does that sound right?
Chiefs Vikings?
Yeah, if it was 1 versus 4.
That's different conferences.
No, I'm talking about in this scenario.
Oh, yeah.
Chiefs Vikings.
Chiefs Vikings, I would have
then-
had Eagles,
Eagles and Bills.
which would have been a
That'd
better
be fun.
game.
Yeah. And Chiefs would have, done your whole blowout thing that you love
Yeah.
in college football.
And then Eagles Bills.
That would be a good game. That'd be a really good
I don't even know.
I'd take the Eagles. I think what they do,
Eagles had the home game.
right. I think what they do is more consistent with the Bills do.
And your teams would be.
I would have gone Eagles Bengals, which I like.
That'd be
That's tough,
that'd be a
actually.
Great game.
That's really tough. And then Bills Chiefs. another just
Those are two great matchups. No doubt about that.
Alrighty, what's next? We're gonna recap the NFL picks for the season. Not the whole season.
Yeah, okay.
But we're just gonna talk about our record and what we did this past week. Gage, you finished
Just below 500. Right?
finished pretty strong though. You won 2 out of 3 games.
Yeah,
Minnesota -6 over Chicago, and then we both hit on Miami. Even against the Jets, which wasn't. I don't feel like it was tough, but it did come down to the wire.
It did.
You did lose with Green Bay not covering the 4.5 against Detroit. They actually lost outright.
And that was probably my most confident pick too. I thought Aaron Rodgers would handle that. He didn't.
Hey, he ain't that guy this year. Sorry about it. I went 1-3, so that one win that we talked about with Miami was my only one. I lost with Jacksonville, Seattle, and the Chargers. What are you gonna do? Final records for the season, Gage. You went 26-28. Damn good considering how you started this year. You cannot be upset about that.
I started off pretty bad.
Yeah, you went 4 straight weeks going 1-2, and then 0-3. So that means you were 4-11, and then finished 22-17. That's pretty fucking good. That's a good stretch. That's a good long stretch. That's not
Thank you.
That's not a small sample size.
That makes me feel good.
That's not a small sample size.
Because I was down bad.
You were having a rough time early in the year. And early season picks are not easy because you're still trying to figure out.
You're still learning. what
Still
these
trying to figure
teams
out
have
how.
to
Yeah,
do. You're still
exactly.
learning.
Myself, not so sexy, 23 and 31, but certainly better than we started as well.
But for the fans, don't worry. We're not going to get
It's
rid
coming
of this
back.
segment. It's coming back.
I think we'll maybe think of some kind of tweak we can put on it just to make it more interesting.
You had one that you mentioned about us both picking Cowboys and Niner games.
Yes, I think that would be fun. That'd be one.
Out of the three that we pick, we have to pick the Cowboys
Yeah.
and Niners. Or
I think we should.
have to do the Cowboys. You have to do the Niners games.
Right. I think we should also maybe not be allowed to pick the same team. So we'll have to think about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's just ideas at this point.
Of course.
But that doesn't mean we're done doing picks this year,
No.
which I kind of thought we were. But thank you for bringing up the fact that we will do playoff picks.
I
for the rest of the year?
just think it makes sense.
I think it does too. I didn't even think about it. We didn't do it last year, but we're gonna do it this year.
If they're there, let's pick them.
That's right. That's right. So we're gonna do it kind of like we did college football, where we do it sort of blindly. Gage, you won the regular season, so I'm gonna give you the first pick.
Okay. Man, do I go with my gut? What sucks is the Jags-Chargers earlier today was even.
It still basically is a pick 'em though. You don't have to feel because the game is gonna end, and there's no way it's a tie.
I'm going Jags +1 against the Chargers.
All right, sounds good.
That's my first pick.
I like it. I'm gonna take the Seahawks +10.
Yeah.
It's supposed to rain big time this weekend in Santa Clara, so that means that it's going to be hard to put up big numbers. So I think a 17-13 win for the Niners is very realistic. So I'll take Seattle. I still feel good about the Niners winning this game. By the way,
Yeah.
regardless.
Don't let them lose this game.
Yeah, I won't hear it.
So-
I'll hear the end of it.
I'm picking it right now. Gage's guarantee. I gave you a chance to pick this game.
I almost did.
I gave you a
I
chance to pick
almost
the
did.
game. Gage's guarantee, putting it down right now. I will drink a 2-11 next week if the Cowboys win. I'm picking the Buccaneers +2.5 to beat the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, if the Buccaneers win, I'll drink a 2-11.
So okay, yeah,
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So if the Cowboys win,
You drink one.
and if the Buccaneers win,
I'll drink
so
one.
someone's drinking one.
Someone's drinking.
Okay.
One. Yeah. It's
Okay.
in the books.
Great, that's in the book. Danny, you're here for it.
I'm here.
Hey, you'll be here next week
I'm a
too.
witness.
You'll be here next week.
Yeah, he's a permanent side piece.
Permanent resident.
I'm your side piece?
Yeah.
Yes. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. The Cowboys are not winning this football game.
We'll see.
At home, or no, on the road against the Buccaneers. Do you know the Cowboys have lost 8 straight road games in the playoffs?
And 7 straight to Tom Brady.
So you're telling, okay,
Someone's got to give.
yeah. You might say they're due. I'm saying it ain't gonna
They're
happen.
doo-doo.
They are, yeah. Thank you. They are due.
Oh, Lord.
So one of us will drink a 2-11 next week.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be me.
It's gonna be great. Okay, so my next pick is gonna be the. Ooh, this is tough. I'll go Bills -9.5. I don't like taking 10 points in a playoff game, but I don't know who the hell is gonna play quarterback for the Dolphins. If it's Skylar Thompson, I'm taking the Bills -9.5. Thank you.
I'm going Giants +3 against the Vikings.
It's gonna be a good game.
I know.
I think it's almost.
The Vikings barely beat the Giants this year on a 61-yard field goal, so I like those chances.
You know what? Also, this line means, if you're thinking like a Vegas man, is that on a neutral field, they think that both these teams are the same.
Yeah, because they always give the home team 3 points.
Technically, yeah, it's supposed to be 3 points. They do. I have read that it's nowadays it's thought of as less home field advantage is thought of as less than 3 points, but still, I find that quite interesting. So that leaves me with the Ravens and Bengals game.
Which I'll say, I wish I would have given you the Giants-Vikings one, because I think that's a harder game to pick, because I would pick the Bengals 7.5.
Really, I don't know that it's that easy. They're saying Lamar Jackson's going to come back. The Ravens have been tough to watch, honestly, offensively without Lamar. And even if he does come back, I don't know if I like the chances. I think I will take the Bengals -7.5. Although I don't love it as much as you do.
Okay.
Playoff picks are in. Wild
They're
card
in.
round. There it
They're
is.
There will be a 211 drink on this podcast next week.
I can't wait. I thought we were done with it. Not so fast.
I threw a special playoff version.
Not so fast.
Oh, man.
Okay, quick baseball segment. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Trevor Bauer released by the Dodgers. Thoughts?
He's going somewhere.
He's gonna.
He'll go somewhere. He'll go somewhere.
I know, Danny. You said today and yesterday that you hoped that the Giants would be interested, but it sounds like they're not.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want him?
I mean,
I know there's some controversy behind it, but dude's a baller.
ability-wise, of course, you'd want someone like him on your team, but at the same time, the publicity situation not great, and also he actually hasn't been very consistent in his career. He's had good years, then bad years, back to back, very often. So we'll see how he comes back. I'm sure he's going to be very motivated. So I would expect a quality season from him, but we'll see. Longtime Giant Brandon Belt has signed with the Toronto Blue Jays.
It's why I wore the hat today.
There you
Tip
go.
of the cap.
Brandon Belt was a very good Giant. Sometimes unappreciated by the Giants fan base, but he was a big part of 2012 and 2014 championships. You know, a staple on the team for a good chunk of the last 12 years. So, congrats to Brandon.
So
I'm glad he got a contract.
Yeah.
I honestly wasn't sure that he was going to get a major league deal, and he got a lot of money actually from the Blue Jays. So, good for him.
It's tough. You know, I think Crawford's the last one standing from the 2014 champion team.
Crawford, to me,
Is he a lifetime Giant?
I hope he retires at the end of this year. Unless he has a great year and the Giants feel like he's worth re-signing, I hope to never see him in another uniform. And I could see him wanting that to be the case too.
Out of all the core Giants from that 3 and 5 year run, I would go Bumgarner 1 for me wanting a jersey, and then Crawford 2
Okay.
for sure.
I would say, I'm not even going to think about jerseys, but impact, I would say, obviously Buster Posey.
Yeah, Posey.
Bumgarner, Timmy's got to be in that conversation. Crawford, obviously. But yeah, those guys are all just big parts of the franchise, no question.
It's tough to see the guys.
I know.
They keep falling.
I'm happy that Brandon didn't want to just hang him up, because I do feel like, even though he's dealt with a lot of injuries, he had a great 2020 and 2021 for the Giants.
It's probably a great team for him to be on because obviously they have him just for his glove.
Right.
You know, you keep Vlad Jr. as your
They'll
Yeah.
probably play half and half DH and first base, I would guess, honestly.
yeah.
Keep both of them as fresh as possible. White Sox closer Liam Hendricks, who's one of the best in the game, he has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Jeez.
Unfortunate. Obviously a treatable cancer, but unfortunate to hear. But you know, he's one of the best, good guy for the most part that we know, and we will be rooting for his recovery.
Absolutely.
He had a statement saying, you know, I have every intention to be back on the mound as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So hopefully, he also pitched for the A's for a couple of years and was really good for them. So I know Bay Area people know him, and we'll root for him in his recovery.
Cheers.
And last but not least, Carlos Correa has seemingly
This
found
saga, this
found
saga,
it home.
this saga is weird.
It's hilarious. It's not going to be the Mets. Obviously, it's not going to be the Giants. But he's going back to the Twins on what is apparently a 6-year deal for $200 million. And the deal can reach 10 years for $270 if all vesting options vest.
Wow. What eternity events? This makes the Giants look good, like we said before.
Yeah. I mean,
Because the Giants were getting drugged.
I don't know how you sign with 3 teams in 1 year. It's crazy. Yeah, it's just it's wild to think about the whole situation. But I mean, I guess the Twins are comfortable with him. They saw him play for their team last year, so it's not like this is
He's
uncomfortable circumstances.
he's
for
going
them.
home.
He's going home. I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, we've given our thoughts on the whole situation in past episodes, but so wild to think about. And in reality, he only lost $80 million of the $350 that he could have got. So I think he probably turned out pretty good in this whole situation.
That's it, just 80 million?
Well, 80 potential, I guess. I guess 150 guaranteed. But with that being said, what time is it, Gage? Time for the last call, baby.
Hats off. Hats off. That was that was pretty good.
Oh god,
I was definitely
really
expecting the fart noise. 1,000%. I clicked that button with such confidence. That would have hurt more if it was next week. And we might actually keep that for next week. Wow, that was good.
That was real nice, dude.
It's officially time for last call. It's been a long episode. Thank you for our 2 watchers on YouTube and our 10 listeners throughout
all audio,
Spotify,
platforms.
Anchor,
You
Apple
name it.
Music, Apple, whatever. Thank you for
Easily longest episode ever.
going through this endeavor with us.
Yes.
I don't know what made it so long. I don't really.
I had a feeling it was going to be long.
I had so many more notes too. I didn't realize. Like I had so much more about like the wild card matchup with the Cowboys, but it's okay. I'll say it for next week.
There you go.
I'll say it for next week.
It'll still be relevant. What do you have, man?
I have nothing.
Really?
I had Brandon Belt,
Oh, okay.
but we talked about him.
We snuck it in.
I should have known that you were going to say something about Brandon Belt, but that's all I had.
We could have pushed baseball stuff to the last call, but when Carlos Correa's announcement came out today, I felt like could have just made it a whole segment. So there we are.
Dude, that button, that was fantastic. That was
I hope that comes out clear on the audio.
It's a little muffled, but I think people are going to get the idea of what it is. That is awesome. That is good.
Yeah, so I don't. Did we talk about the fact that we have confirmed that we're going to France?
No, we have not.
So I'm glad we were able to do that finally.
We are going to Paris, France.
I should have worn my PSG shit.
We are gonna see a PSG game. We have not bought tickets for it, but we can still do it.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yep. So we're gonna go have a good time regardless.
Man, we're gonna do an episode in Paris.
We're gonna watch the Super Bowl in Paris.
Valentine's
It's
Day
crazy to
in
think.
Paris.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool.
I think we should leave Devin at the Airbnb for Valentine's Day and you and me go out for a date.
She'll love hearing that.
Yes.
But it's, I gotta say, it's really hard for me to spend money and do this kind of thing, because to me this is like the biggest thing personally I've ever done.
It's gonna be for me as well.
This commitment to me is, up to this point in my life, is the largest thing I've ever done, and the fact that we're actually doing it. It doesn't even. It really.
It's hard to think of that it's gonna happen.
It doesn't feel. It feels real. I was really excited about it initially. I was like, wow, we're actually gonna be going. You know what I mean?
It probably won't feel real until like that week leading up. I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's not gonna feel real until like February 4th. Because
Yeah.
we're going from the 6th to the 16th.
Right.
Once I'm on the plane, I'm like, dude,
We'll get those butterflies.
Exactly. And this is coming from a guy who's been on a plane from
Once.
what I remember once.
Yeah.
And it was to San Diego. That's a 45-minute plane.
Yeah,
ride.
it's a hop.
This one's 12 hours,
Yeah, in total.
give or take. Yeah, it really is exciting. And we're gonna see PSG. We're gonna drink a lot of champagne. We're gonna eat
Drink some cognac.
a lot of baguettes, a lot of cheese.
A lot of cheese.
Why not?
Why not? I'm with you.
The Airbnb we're staying at is beautiful.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
It's gonna be nice.
I can't wait. It's exciting.
It's gonna be crazy watching the Super Bowl at midnight.
It is gonna be fun. I'm excited to go and potentially go to this Irish pub that Devin has mentioned.
And I'm sure for you, because I think I'm more confident in the Niners making it to the Super Bowl than the Cowboys, because that's just how I am.
Yeah.
But have you thought about actually? I almost feel bad because I know you'd probably rather watch the Super Bowl with your dad.
It's gonna be if that is the case.
If the Niners make it.
If that is the case, it will be a little bit of a bummer to not be with family and friends.
Well, and for me, if the Cowboys somehow make it to the Super Bowl, it would be
tough not being
not
with dad.
heartbreaking, but it'd be tough not being with my dad watching it
Right.
because we've wanted that for my whole life.
Right.
I said that during our lunch. I think that you would be more upset about
I
missing out watching it with your dad.
Yeah, it'd be really tough. And I remember when we saw you at the Marriott a couple weeks ago watching the Titans Cowboys game. I was like, yeah, I told him we're going to Paris, and I was like, yeah, I was like, we're gonna be there for the Super Bowl, and if the Cowboys make it, I can go watch it. And he was like, he wasn't like bummed out, but he's like, fuck.
Yeah.
It would be really hard for me.
Because I got a question though: is there anyone else that your dad would get together with for a Cowboys game, like within reasonable distance?
Like if the Cowboys made it to the Super Bowl.
Just watching a game, like, hey, let's go watch the Cowboys game because I know you're a Cowboys fan also. Is there anyone that he has to go to?
Yeah, there's people he could probably. There's a guy that we follow on Instagram or on Facebook that he's known for a long time. His name is Eric Selvage or whatever.
Okay.
And he's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
But I don't think my dad would actually go out and reach out if that game happened.
Right. Like you would be, because I think it's different for me knowing that I have, a bunch of friends that are 49ers fans.
Yeah.
Like they can all get together. I wouldn't be feeling like I'm leaving someone behind. Like I feel like that's a sort of the situation where you'd be kind of leaving your dad behind.
I think maybe he would go to my grandma's house and watch it, just like to be there
Right.
with my grandma. But I think there's really no one else that he would want to watch the Cowboys with. It would be extremely tough, and I hope in a way I hope that is the situation. I don't think it will be. You know I am, but it would be it'd be the most ironic thing ever if the Cowboys for some reason happen to win it and we were not even in the same country as my dad. You know what I mean?
Right. It's gonna be fun though. Can't wait.
I know I can't believe we're doing it.
It's booked.
It's booked.
We're there.
It's booked.
We're
We're
going.
there. We're going.
Also, I want to say one more thing that we, if you're listening, you probably already know this, but we posted the NFL bracket challenge that we're bringing back this year. This year is going to be a $10 buy-in. The prize will sort of be determined by how many people join, of course. I want to do a second place prize, and maybe it would be like double the money, but that's also going to be dependent on how many people join.
We will both be in it.
Yep.
I hope Daniel will be in it.
Yep.
No.
We already got one entrant from Ethan, so
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ethan. But yeah, I mean, we had 18 entries, I believe, last year. I want to get more than that because that would be a nice pot.
And I'll probably plug it every week, or
just
closer
absolutely.
to the playoff games.
And if you're listening, tell your friends too, if they're interested. It's only a $10 buy-in, so it's not like we're breaking the bank. And the larger the pot, the larger the prize.
If you have my number, you have your number.
Yep.
Email, Instagram. Let us know either way.
Yep.
Or any way you can.
Or just message us on Instagram or give out our account name and we'll get you set up.
Exactly. Please join it. Very much like it, and like I've said before.
Let's cheers to that. Thanks for listening, watching.
Thank you, Danny, for being here.
Thanks for being here with us for the longest episode of the year. And we'll see you next week. Peace.